You are looking live at Boone Pickens Stadium in Stillwater, Oklahoma, where the Bedlam series wraps up the Big 12 regular season on Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. So two rivals and neighbors come together here in Stillwater. Oklahoma ranked number 3 in the BCS and Oklahoma State number 12. Here is our storyline tonight. If the Sooners win, there will be a three-way tie for first in the Big 12 South, and the highest BCS-ranked team would advance. But if Oklahoma State wins, tie between Texas Tech, remember head-to-head on a two-team tie, and that would send Texas Tech to play Missouri next Saturday night in Kansas City. Welcome, everybody, to Kirk Herbstreit. I'm Brent Musburger. Nice to have you along with us here again. And Kirk, I saw you when Texas Tech was struggling. You were down the field with Coach Bob Stoops of Oklahoma.
It was ironic. I'm on the field a couple hours before the game. Baylor's upsetting Texas Tech. Bob Stoops is keeping scores with his phone. Cale Gundy's, hey, it's tied up now. It's 28-28. Needless to say, they're pretty happy with the end result because now they feel they control their own destiny.
You know, we normally come into the Big 12 talking about quarterbacks. Yeah. But I think there are a couple of running backs who could decide this one.
It's going to be exciting to see these two play, especially let's start with DeMarco Murray. We saw him last week and what he was able to do against Texas Tech. Boy, the last 5 games since the Texas game, the offensive line taking control of things. Look at this, almost 7 yards a carry, more confidence in the knee injury that he sustained a year ago. Look for him tonight early in this game to get the offense going. On the other side for the Cowboys, Kendall Hunter, number 24, an explosive back. Very important in this spread look. The Cowboys like to spread you out and run the football, and Kendall Hunter has to take the pressure off of his quarterback, Zach Robinson, by trying to get upfield and making some big plays.
Any chance that Oklahoma was looking too carefully at the BCS and overlooked Oklahoma State?
Absolutely not. I think they proved that last week with the way they handled Texas Tech. All the distractions on the outside, Bob Stoops does as good a job as anybody of keeping his team focused and not even worrying about style points. They're worried about winning this game and doing the best they can tonight against the opponent.
Yeah, not only must they win, but style points wouldn't hurt in the BCS battle with the Longhorns either. And I'm sure Big John and the gang will have some of those details, and they'll also tell you what went on in a very busy Saturday. Come on, Bullet, bring it on.
You're watching ESPN on ABC.
Pictures here. Zach Robinson firing up before they got dressed for battle. It'll be a noisy crowd, folks. Slinging Sam Bradford. Is there a Heisman Trophy in his future? Not if Des Bryant and the gang have anything to say about it. This has been the Nissan pregame shift kickoff for Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. Coming up next. This ESPN telecast available in high definition on ABC HD. Less than 100 miles separates Stillwater from Norman, Oklahoma, home of the Sooners. So tonight it's neighbor against neighbor, friend against friend, brother against brother, in a rivalry that goes way, way back. Now, let's go down to Lisa Salters. Lisa?
Thanks, Brent. Mike, we know how potent Oklahoma's offense can be. We just saw it last week. What have you told your kids about what they have to do to keep them from getting off to a fast start?
They have to play their game. They have to play with great effort. They're going to make some plays. Our guys are going to make some plays also. Continue to play hard throughout the game. Find ways to force turnovers.
Now, we all know what's at stake for OU, but how much of a motivator has it been for your kids this week, knowing that if they get a win tonight, they'll have 10 wins for the first time in the regular season in school history?
Well, that's a great motivator, and then more importantly, that's what we do. It's college football. It's a great opportunity. It's competition. We love every minute of it.
All right, thanks a lot. Good luck to you.
Okay, Lisa.
Brent?
All right, Lisa, and of course, across the way, Bob Stoops coming off his biggest win of the year against Texas Tech. Now, Oklahoma State won the toss, and they elected to defer. But keep this in mind about Stoops. It has not been easy here. All right, you can see how he has struggled by 6 points and by 3 points the last 2 wins in here. And then in 2002, he was beaten by 10 points. Now, Stoops and the Sooners do hold a 5-game winning streak. With the ball on the tee. Nothing but Bedlam, folks. Fielded at the 4-yard line by DeMarco Murray, the outstanding running back. And he stumbles and is down at the 26-yard line. Certainly one of OU's impact players.
Yeah, Brent, we're going to start with DeMarco Murray, who has been sensational since the Texas loss. As I said, the offensive line doing a good job opening holes. He sets the tempo to get this offense going. Joaquin Iglesias on the outside leads the group of receivers that if you pay too much attention to Murray, he can beat you. And Jermaine Grisham, one of the two great tight ends tonight. Watch him tonight trying to get downfield for Sam Bradford.
Base defense, and now they check over at the Cowboys sideline. Sam Bradford, number 14, up changing. And it was stopped prior to the snap.
Yeah, delay it looked like, unless Oklahoma got a timeout.
Dead ball. Delay. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Randy Crystal, our referee, attempting to be heard over this crowd. 60,000 strong here tonight, Herbie, and it's going to be a factor.
Sam Bradford dealing with a whole different situation this week, obviously on the road from what he dealt with last week at home against Texas Tech.
Now they put 3 down linemen. An entirely different look after the penalty. Bring a backer on it, and Sam completes his first pass to Jermaine Gresham, the junior tight end from Ardmore, Oklahoma. And Levine, the linebacker, was all over.
That'll be a big part of this game tonight, seeing if they can tackle well in space. Sam Bradford, one of the hottest quarterbacks, if not the hottest quarterback in the country, put up big numbers last week. Does a great job of controlling this no-huddle, up-tempo offense for the Sooners. Sometimes they give you a look like they're hurrying. This time looks to appear to be that they're hurrying, and of course looks over to get the check.
Tim Beckman is changing everything on every play defensively for the Cowboys. The third different look. Deflected incomplete, and it'll be 3rd down and 15 coming up on the play. Now, this is one thing that Texas Tech did not do much of last week. If you were with us last week, and Herbie, you certainly remember, they sat in base most of the game. Beckman's going to mix it up. He's going to bring blitzers. He's going to put 3 down like he is right now, sometimes only 2 down. Bradford going long, double team, throws coverage, incomplete. Iglesias took a shot at it, and Bradford attacked double coverage. And boys and girls, that's 3 and out.
That's something we didn't see much of all last week by Oklahoma at home against Texas Tech. 3rd down. This is actually a poor decision. His only outlet, he's going to go downfield, throw into double coverage. And I'll tell you what, he somehow gets this football in between Lacey and the safety Moore, and Iglesias almost comes down with that catch.
Des Bryant awaits this punt from Mike Knoll. Booms it, drives Des back to the 27 where he makes the fair catch. And now we will see who Zach Robinson has for impact personnel, Herbie.
Well, Kendall Hunter, we talked about him in the open, Brent, number 24. The sophomore has done a great job within this offense. Great acceleration, and you'll see what we mean here in a little bit. He's going to have a big night. Des Bryant, can Des Bryant step up in a big game against a quality opponent? That's the challenge that his coaches have put it on him. And, of course, Brandon Pettigrew, very, very gifted, future first-round tight end. Great size, and they'll look to try to get him over the middle of the Sooner defense.
Coach Gundy opens with an empty backfield, and Kendall Hunter is in the slot to the right. He is a fine receiver, too. 4 down for the OU defense. The offensive line holds beautifully, and he completes the first strike to Davis. Out to the 41-yard line, Damian Davis, number 85. But what was more impressive about that play is the fact that the OU defensive line did not break through.
Well, time to throw the football. Be big for Zach Robinson against the gifted defensive line from Oklahoma. Interesting, they go away from Pettigrew, away from Des Bryant, and they go to Damian Davis, who only has 11 catches on the year.
They now will use Keith Toston, number 5, another fine tailback, with Kendall Hunter. So they now bring 2 running backs. Mike Gundy, of course, directing the offense, and they line up in a pistol. That's just a shorter shotgun formation, and they're going to fumble, and Zach pounces on the ball.
Option football tonight will be a big part of how the Cowboys try to attack the gifted Sooners front 7, because they want to try to get them out in space and take advantage of how aggressive the Sooners are. But you've got to be able to hold on to the football, and it's about execution and discipline when you play option football.
They will be strong or the tight end side to the right. He'll get down to 3-point to help block. It's a very talented defensive line. Zach rolls the pocket. Picked off. Is it a pick six? No. Down at the 21 is Dominique Franks. A poor decision by Zach on the roll.
A poor throw here by Zach Robinson. Has an open receiver to the inside, actually, and Connor makes the decision, I think, prematurely to throw the ball to the outside. And Dominique Franks, who's having a huge year for the Sooners, is right there to step in front of the late throw by Robinson and make the big interception here for the Sooners.
Zach saved the touchdown as he got over and made the stop on the play. Now, Bradford and the Sooners have been lethal. Murray looking for a seam into the red zone. This is where Oklahoma has been as impressive as any team we have seen this year in football, is in the red zone.
See if these Cowboys have what it takes to, as you said, Brent, mix and match, move people around.
Coming with Murray again. Got a hole. 5, touchdown OU on the board first. DeMarco Murray with the game's first score.
This offensive line, this is exactly what they're able to do. Even with the penetration there by the big fella on the inside there, Chatham, they still hit a crease and get upfield so quickly with DeMarco Murray.
The smallest man on the Sooners, Jimmy Stevens, adds the extra point. 7-0. Sigh of relief for Stoops. A turnover and a quick strike. You're watching Saturday Night Football on ABC. Well, Thurman Thomas, a legend here, going into the College Football Hall of Fame, already in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, one of the great running backs of all time at any level. He was good enough where for about a year and a half he kept somebody by the name of Barry Sanders on the Oklahoma State bench.
That may be more impressive than anything
How about that?
he accomplished here.
Moreland with the ball on the tee for the Sooners. Cuts hard to the left. Not a good decision. He left his blocking buddies and he was naked out there.
Go back to the interception. This is what I talked about earlier. Sometimes as a quarterback early in a game, you have to be careful. For that matter, anytime as a quarterback, you have to be careful of predetermining where you want to go with the football. Look at Connor to the inside. And, of course, Robinson throws late, decides to go to the outside. What a great job of jumping it by Dominique Franks. And all of a sudden, the Sooners, who went 3 and out, got great field position thanks to their defense. And they took advantage of it with the big run by DeMarco Murray.
Now the Cowboys will start from inside their own 15. Pressure. Here's Des Bryant. Got a first down. They get him involved early. Remember when we were down in Lubbock a few weeks ago, they did not get Des Bryant involved in the first half of the game. And you know how tough it is when big-time talented receivers are not in the game. They didn't influence it. Herbie, you mentioned he has not stepped out in the biggest games for the Cowboys.
Maybe this will get him involved early in the game to get his confidence up. And Zach Robinson talking about confidence after the interception. Important for him to come back and throw that pass to get his confidence back.
Here's Kendall Hunter. He's a fine runner. Great decision. Steps to the outside. Jackson, the corner, is over there, and we've got a flag on the play.
Game about 14, flag down.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Here's a good look at the face mask penalty as Kendall makes a good decision and Jackson reaches up and grabs the face mask.
See if Oklahoma State now could take advantage. Some execution and a big break here with the 15 yards added on to the back end of that play.
Junior Keith Toston. He's one of the Texans. He's now the running back. Oklahoma State will show the read option. You can see how efficient that Oklahoma team is in the first quarter. Not much doing for Tostin. Matt Weiner, let's check in for our first update tonight. Matt. So a couple field goals have been tacked on since John Saunders reported that first score. Remember, that's going on in Corvallis, Oregon, the home of the Beavers. Zach with that inside shuttle pass, and it was read beautifully by the defensive line. And Adrian Taylor, one of their fine defensive tackles, outstanding athlete.
I was going to say, you've talked about Bedlam, how wild it can be. One thing you have to do if you're Oklahoma State is believe that you can win. You need success early against Oklahoma, and you throw an interception, you get down 7-0. Remember, Oklahoma dominates opponents in the first quarter. This drive is important to Zach Robinson and the Cowboys.
You see if Brent Venables brings heat on 3rd and 11. Tostin is the running back. He would be the protector if they're going to drop back and throw. Nobody touches him down middle. Davis again, his second catch of the game. Davis still on his feet to the 19-yard line. Venables is going to have to think about bringing some heat. The offensive line of the Cowboys is doing an excellent job. 25-yard gain.
They disguise and mixing some things up, but give all the credit in the world here to the receiver, Damian Davis, getting a move to the inside. He had a linebacker and Keenan Clayton matched up with him one-on-one. Plenty of room to work back to the middle. He gave him an outside move back to the middle, and a great throw by Zach.
Kendall Hunter back on the field. Play action. In trouble. Throws. Incomplete and broken up by Nick Harris, the safety, who came over. And that time, Venables and the Sooners finally got to him and ruffled the quarterback's feathers a little bit.
But instead of bringing zone pressure where you bring 4 or 5, this time it was an all-out blitz. And Brent Venables, defensive coordinator from the Sooners, Brent, he said, okay, now they're in the red zone. Let's start to be aggressive. Let's attack them and try to take the fight to them and instead of letting them attack us. Remember, Des Bryant, this is an opportunity for he or Brandon Pettigrew, the big tight end, to make a play down in this red zone.
Pettigrew is on the right side of the formation. He maintains his block. Option look. Zach has stood up and hit hard. And there was Beal along with Clayton.
They have to have the ability to stretch plays tonight against the Sooners and get the ball to the outside. When we talked with them this week, they mentioned they have such respect for Gerald McCoy on the inside and Adrian Taylor and DeMarcus Granger. They feel that there's an advantage from Oklahoma in the interior. They want to try to get things on the perimeter, and it requires great blocking by the receivers to be able to do that.
That graphic told you how efficient the Sooners were on 3rd down last week against the Red Raiders. Off the play fake. Wide open on the outside again. And Davis seems to be the man who is getting free, which would lead you to believe, Kirk, that Brent and the Sooners are paying a lot of attention to Des Bryant and Pettigrew right now. And number 85 is working free.
What they've done for the most part is kept a safety over the top of Des Bryant. And Oklahoma State telling us that he faces that almost every week. What they have to do a good job is coming across the middle with crossing routes at about 15 to 20 yards to try to take advantage of that double coverage. But so far, you're right, Davis has been the answer.
Adrian Taylor, the big defensive tackle, shaken up on the play, and the medical staff is out tending to him. Of course, I am sure that folks down in Austin and Lubbock Way are glued to this, because if Stoops and the Sooners win, we got a 3-way tie, and then the BCS computers and boys will decide it all. Now there's where they stand right now, but Oklahoma is very close to Texas. And a lot of people think if they win tonight, making this late push. But let's remember now the Longhorns still hold the 45-35 as that airplane circled over me all day long here and reminded me of that as I was walking over to the stadium. And head-to-head did go to the Horns. But they can no longer use just that.
I thought it was interesting last week. Good to see Taylor up here.
Yes, here we are. Bought and paid for by some loyal Longhorns. And it cannot be overlooked, folks.
Nope.
Although the one thing that I'm not comfortable with is having the BCS decide a conference title. I think it should be decided within the conference. I recall when the BCS was founded, it was just to identify 1 versus 2 in that final game. And I think they should use point differential within the Big 12 South and a common opponent, which happens to be Kansas, and then let the chips fall where they may, and everybody knows where they stand. I would use strictly what happens in the Big 12. I don't think coaches in the ACC, Big 10, SEC, Pac-10 have any business deciding a conference title other than their own. I'm not comfortable with it. There's too much politics involved. Danny Bailey on to attempt the field goal. This will be a 28-yarder to put the Cowboys on the board. Slides it through, and it's 7-3. So the drive stalls. The Cowboys settle for a field goal. The Gundy household, Midwest City, Oklahoma. Now, Cale Gundy, who you see there, is the running backs coach, and he once was a quarterback at Oklahoma. Mike, of course, the head coach of the Oklahoma State Cowboys, was a great quarterback here at Oklahoma State. Herbie, Mom wouldn't allow any football talk. Huh?
I talked to both these guys and found out, if you can't talk football during Thanksgiving, what can you talk about?
Here's Murray. Scored the touchdown for the Sooners, and he's short of the 20. And Lisa, I know that you had a conversation with Mom.
That's right. I spoke to Judy Gundy about an hour ago, and she's the one who lays down the law, saying no sports talk during Thanksgiving dinner. And she said, my guys are just so competitive that, I had to stop the problem before it started. Back when they were 15 and 17, they almost got into a fight talking about sports. So she said, then I said, no more sports talk at family gatherings.
He said they talked about the invisible fence not working for the Dogs.
Here's Chris Brown now. He replaced Murray. Chris Brown scored 3 touchdowns last Saturday night in Norman, and both those running backs went over 100 yards. So when you team up DeMarco Murray with Chris Brown as good a tandem, running back tandem, as you've got in the country.
One of the best in the country, and it's going to be fun to watch how Tim Beckham, the defensive coordinator, continues to move guys in and out. You've got to give Oklahoma a different look. As Bradford looks over to the sideline to the assistants, Kevin Wilson, the offensive coordinator, is looking right now down at all those orange jerseys, trying to get a feel for the best play call. You've got to continue to move around.
And Beckman's moving late on him, too. Big hole this time. And Brown crosses the 30-yard line. That was a huge hole open by the left side. It's a big offensive line.
And sometimes when you move around, it allows these guys to crease you. But this time it was just a simple push down block by the center, number 50, Cooper.
Huge offensive line. They move at a fast tempo. Brown's in trouble and ripped down for a loss that time. And that was Hugo Chenasaw, the sophomore from Richardson, Texas, in there making that play. And DeMarco Murray hopes to get sent back onto the field.
Chenasaw made the play because he was able to get through and penetrate and slow down Brown. And now this is something that they take a lot of pride in. Same personnel, but instead of being back with a back in the backfield, they're now in an empty set. It puts a lot of pressure on a defense when you have that kind of versatility.
The defense is looking and moving late. The read that Kevin's getting is changing as he changes things. Come with the blitz up high, incomplete. This is one of the better defensive jobs we have seen as we have looked at the Oklahoma tapes. Texas Christian had a great quarter against them, but the Cowboys are causing trouble.
Well, Terrence Anderson jumps this route. Good job of recognizing the routes and fitting up, stepping up, and taking away the easy throw for Sam Bradford. Give all the credit there to number 23, the junior.
Bradford 0 for 4 now, looking for his first completion. 3 down linemen. Offensive line holds plenty of time, wide open for the first down. Manuel Johnson, who made that sensational one-handed catch, has the brace on the left elbow, injured the arm against Kansas, missed most of that game in Kansas State.
Look at Sam Bradford's eyes. He looks from the right to the middle, and then finally comes back to the left. And if you're going to rush 3 and drop 8, you're going to give Sam Bradford, one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the country, all of that time to dissect the defense. He's eventually going to find an open man.
Rush 4, not going to get there, and it could have been picked off. Had the defensive back looked up at the ball more, he would have had a crack at it. The coaches saw that over on the sideline.
Holding. Offense. Number 72.
That is Duke Robinson.
First down.
And he was holding Swanson Miller, number 90, who had broken through. And he did not want him getting to the quarterback, so he took a penalty on the play.
It's the one way you can attack the size of the Sooners is with quickness and fresh bodies, and Beckham is rotating people constantly in and out of this lineup.
On 1st and 20, they rush a linebacker. They throw the screen the other side, and it is blown up. Patrick Levine, number 4. Along with Taya, number 92, did the business on this play.
Well, this is just great recognition. They see this the entire way. They're sitting there waiting for it until it finally develops. Taya the entire way, sitting there waiting for Brown to come to him.
Quickly they move. And complete to Iglesias. Lacey, the defender there.
Tackling so important, and I know it seems obvious, Brent, but after watching Texas Tech try to tackle Oklahoma in the open field, that is a big key tonight.
DeMarco Murray back in for 3rd and 19. Bradford's in trouble. On the move. And Iglesias working the sideline. It looks like it's a little short of the first down, but Sam was able to slip one right down the sideline, and there was pressure coming that time from Lemon, the middle linebacker. Watch number 41 get through. Here he comes.
Brent, second time in 3 series that the Cowboys have done a good job of getting pressure on Sam Bradford, and they've now forced the Sooners to punt twice, which is saying something for an offense that's been scoring over 60 in the last 3 games.
Mike Knoll is back to punt. Ricky Price is now back deep. He booms one. Let's see what Price hopes. It goes to the end zone. Takes a beautiful bounce and out of bounds. Hit the coffin corner. That's a great play when a punter can do it. That was a 51-yard beauty. Well, here it's 7-3, and a reminder, Monday Night Football. Monday at 8:30 p.m. Mike Tirico, Ron Jaworski, Tony Kornheiser, they'll have one for you. The Jaguars and the Texans. The Jaguars have to be really disappointed in their season, but you do get to see Maurice Jones-Drew, and maybe they'll have a good one for you on Monday night. We shall see about that, folks. Look at this, 99 yards away. Zach Robinson keeps it. The junior from Littleton, Colorado. He's a good runner, though, Herbie, and
sure.
you know, in that situation, just trying to get a little breathing room against Stoops' defense.
His athletic ability is his greatest strength in high school. He played receiver up until his senior year. He runs a 4.5 40. So, and again, tonight they want to be able to run the football. That is a big-time stat here, favoring the Sooners early in this game. That's tough right there.
Kendall, that is what he does as well as any back we've seen in the Big 12. He's tough after the first hit, folks. He's a little bit like Thurman. That first guy has a little bit of trouble bringing him down.
And look what he's running into, too. And yet he's still able to bounce off a couple tacklers and try to get some positive yards. Physical, short, compact, low center of gravity.
5'8", 190 pounds. He's out of Tyler, Texas. He had a quad injury, which apparently was not serious a couple weeks back. And here he is now 3rd and 4. You're back in that read option look. They look back over to see what Coach Mike Gundy wants to do here. Run Kendall again. Got close to the first down. They do have a little breathing room for the punter here, Herbie.
They're able to get a little bit of, as you said, yardage there to help the punter, who's been outstanding this year, Matt Fudge, but still thought you might see him be a little bit more aggressive, at least try to get the ball to the outside. And when you get conservative against Oklahoma, I don't like your chances of being able to pick up a first down. And now the Sooners, very least, will get very good field position here.
Moses Madu is the youngster who has practiced blocking punts. He's on the left side. Broyles awaits this punt at the 43-yard line for the Sooners. Breaks free. And there's a penalty flag. So part of this run is going to come back, apparently, against the Sooners.
If you're Oklahoma State, though, Brett.
Blocking the back during the return.
Pretty excited with the way, your defense playing very well.
Penalty, first down.
Let's send you to New York and Matt Weiner. If I'm not mistaken, that is huge for your Ohio State Buckeyes.
It is. You're right about that.
That could send them to a BCS bowl.
It's big for Jim Delaney.
Here comes Murray. That could cost the Pac-10 a lot of money if that holds up. And that's a big rivalry game, the Civil War.
Never know. You know, it's
home teams have had the advantage, which makes it a little bit unusual. But Oregon State was not an overwhelming favorite. This will not be a shocking upset.
No. They've had a lot of injuries. At being at home, you thought it might give them an advantage, but the Ducks playing pretty good football right now.
Here is Murray. And when that young man comes, he can go the distance at any time as Price comes up and makes the stop on him. He is a young man out of Las Vegas. So I asked the coaches this week, Herbie, I said, why didn't Pete Carroll and USC recruit him? And they said they did, but they wanted to make him a defensive back. And we said he'd be a running back. And then they quickly added, but let me tell you, he'd have been a great defensive back. He has terrific speed, 4.4 and change. He's strong. Chris Brown replaces him right now. Trying to get to Bradford, cause him trouble, cause a disruption, and he has to throw it out of bounds. The Oklahoma State defense, being coordinated by Tim Beckman, has disrupted Sam Bradford's game here so far.
They're doing a great job at disrupting things and getting pressure. There's a good look at Coach Beckham. But, Brent, that play on 4th and 2 took so long to develop that the offensive line could not hold up long enough to give Bradford enough time to be able to eventually find an open receiver. He had some open men downfield, but they were taking too long to get open.
His 2 punts tonight, Herbie, have been 51 and 52 yards. They were coming right in on him that time, too. Price is back, and he makes the fair catch at about the 17-yard line. Well, let's take a look now at the Dr. Pepper Big 12 update. If Oklahoma wins, we have a 3-way tie for first, okay? Texas Tech and Texas await them. And then the highest BCS ranking would advance. I think in all fairness, Texas Tech is out of that argument right now. They fell so far back. But if Oklahoma State wins this game now, we've got a tie between Texas and Texas Tech. And guess what? Red Raiders advance with that head-to-head victory over Texas.
I think a lot of people think that Texas needs an Oklahoma loss tonight, but that is not the case.
No, they need
an ugly Oklahoma win.
They'd settle for a 7-3.
They sure would.
Okay. And here comes Kendall on first down, getting into the rhythm of the game. And of course, one of the differences that we're seeing here, Herbie, is that Oklahoma State's trying to get that running game going. Coach Gundy knows if he can keep the ball with his offense, Sam Bradford's just got to watch from the sideline. That's one way to slow down a high-powered offense.
The fact that there's under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter and they've weathered the storm emotionally and they're down 7-3 is a victory in my mind for Oklahoma State. And now they have the ball here at their own 20, very much believing that they can compete.
Slant, Des Bryant, and he has it very well defended by Jackson.
The corners from Oklahoma this year, both new starters. Dominique Franks is to the field, and here to the boundaries, Brian Jackson, number 2. They have had great years, and of course, the more they play, the better they get. There's a good move to the inside, and actually, Jackson was trying to take the inside away, but Des Bryant, with such quickness, got in there. But give Brian Jackson all the credit in the world for recovering there.
There's Des on the right side of the formation. Damian Davis, who's caught a pair. He's got 5 receivers coming out. Throws in underneath Bryant, got the first down.
Now we go back, and I want to show you folks what Herbie was talking about, and Des a little shaken up as he comes to the sideline. And the papers made a big story out of it, the fact that against ranked teams he was unable to get into the end zone, and he did his damage against Texas Tech in the second half with the 4 catches for 86.
Look at the last category, 0 touchdowns. He has 16 touchdowns this year against unranked opponents, and he hasn't scored yet against a ranked team.
Middle, Davis again, but he's short of the first down. Had it, gave it up, and the tough safety Nick Harris made the stop.
The safeties and the linebackers bailing for some reason here on 1st and 10. Huge avenue for Zach Robinson to be able to put the football into an easy throw, and Davis again making another catch. Off to a career game here for Damian Davis with 4 receptions. As I said, coming into the game, he only had 11 all year.
Jeremy Broadway, number 9, one of the wide receivers out there with Des shaken up. Kendall Hunter is Zach's running back. Kendall on a cutback, found the hole beautifully, and exploded into Oklahoma territory to the 44-yard line. That's an 18-yard burst.
And it's great vision here by Hunter. The acceleration is what separates him, but boom, that cut right there. A nice block by the tight end. Pettigrew opened up the backside, but the vision there by Hunter to recognize that, and it cut back there allowed him to pick up the 18 yards.
Look what we found here. Oklahoma held to 7 points in the first quarter. And Saturday Night Football, presented by Southwest Airlines, returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Upper right, folks, that is Boone T. Pickens. He has given hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to this university. $163 million alone to athletics. He was a geology graduate in 1951 when his hedge fund went south. He re-upped and gave him $63 more million to complete this stadium. And he's very pleased. We had a little chat in the elevator and said he couldn't be happier with the way the football team has played this year. Coming in here with 9 wins, they've got a chance to be a 10-game winner for the first time in history of Oklahoma State during the regular season. Zach keeps it to the 36. And Herbie, let us take a look at the Pacific Life game summary here tonight.
You and I were talking at the break there about how do you separate these teams, and right now we've seen, look at the production, look at the average yards per carry and what both Murray and Hunter have been able to do. The difference being, of course, Murray gets the touchdown after the big interception by Dominique Franks, and that's really the only difference in this football game. Sooners capitalized on great field position. Other than that, they have 3 punts.
2nd and 3. Flea flicker. Receivers are covered. Deflected, incomplete. Oklahoma did not bite. Dominique Franks was there. There was not an open receiver. They ran 3 vertical on that, and all 3 were covered.
Great discipline here by the Sooners on a play on 2nd and short that you like to call. I like how aggressive Mike Gundy decides to get there on 2nd and short. Now you come back and just have to execute here on 3rd down and 3. But Sooners sitting right back there, 3 receivers right downfield. Every single one of them had a Sooner defensive back in his hip pocket.
Here is the handoff. 1st down. Kendall Hunter battles his way to the 29. A tough hombre. What you need against a defense as talented as Oklahoma is a tough inside runner.
Well, the middle linebacker here, Lewis, getting right through, but I'll tell you, you talk about his toughness, it's his strength as well. Lewis leads this team in tackles for Oklahoma. He just bounces right off of Hunter.
Coming back with him. Picks his way patiently. And is ripped out of bounds. Let's go to Matt Weiner for Sports Center right now, Matt.
All right, friends, Sports Center right now, powered by Vizio. Here's what's going on in the Pac-10. One play after an interception of Jimmy Clausen. Joe McKnight rattles off his longest run of the season, 55 yards. The Trojans have taken the lead 14-0 on Notre Dame over on ESPN. Meanwhile, Oregon State gets a little momentum before halftime. Lyle Neubau to Shane Morales there, but the Ducks lead it by 20 at the break.
So midway through the second quarter, the Irish still looking for a first down. Play fake by Zach. Drops it off to Kendall Hunter. End zone ahead. Touchdown. Oklahoma State leads it for the first time. Nobody in Austin and nobody in Lubbock leaving this one. Bailey tacks it on. There's the reason why they're ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Number 24. Stay tuned. You're watching Saturday Night Football on ABC. Kendall Hunter's first receiving touchdown of the season. I think that should be Oklahoma State 10, Oklahoma 7. Daly hangs it up to the 3-yard line, and here comes DeMarco again. Stopped at the 20-yard line. Back to the score.
This is a really well-designed play here. Hunter is here, but you're going to see the receivers from Oklahoma State taking all of the attention off to the offense's right side. Watch the defense respond to the play action. Look how the Sooners are looking and bailing out here. And here's Kendall Hunter as a well-designed, well-conceived play, completely baiting the Oklahoma defense into looking to the right, and they dump it back to Kendall Hunter.
DeMarco Murray, short side, 13 more yards and a first down. Ricky Price making the stop.
This offensive line, you go right back to business if you're a Sooner. You hand the football off, control the line of scrimmage, and that sets everything up. If you can get the Cowboys to start to creep up to take that away, then you look for the big plays downfield to your wide receivers.
3 down linemen, that's Phil Lodehold. He's the biggest at 6'8". He's also the tallest Sooner. Weighs about 337. Next to him is Duke Robinson, the senior guard from Atlanta. Coming in underneath to Gresham, the tight end, and incomplete.
Oklahoma State continuing. They're going to do it all game long, continuing to move to try to disguise their coverage.
This is the first time that man has been behind since the game against the Longhorns in Dallas. Incomplete. He threw high for Quentin Chaney, the senior from Tulsa.
This goes to show you that these quarterbacks are human. I mean, we've watched Colt McCoy at times and Sam Bradford. Seems like when they throw an incompletion, it's a news story. Right now, Sam Bradford on the road, a little bit uncomfortable back in the pocket because of all the looks that he's getting from the Cowboys.
Constantly changing the front after the plays changed by the offense. That's when the defense is moving, much like an NFL defense would move very late. Disguise and cover, and folks, it is pure bedlam in here. Has time, fires, middle, got it. Came back to Chaney.
Great throw by Sam Bradford with, as you mentioned, Bedlam, the noise, 3rd down and 10. They've been struggling on 3rd down. He finds the window and he's able to squeeze it in there before Justin Gent, the linebacker, is able to come over to knock the ball away. Good protection and great patience there by Sam Bradford.
Throws a very catchable ball. NFL scouts have to love what they see with this young man. There is Gresham hurdling a defender. Run out of bounds, but it's about an 8-yard gain. Justin Gent was there.
Just when it looks like you have the Sooners on the ropes, they hit a couple passes. Next thing you know, they're at the 35-yard line and building some momentum here. Nice job of finding Grisham, who they've not been able to get the ball too much early in this game.
Hit Murray in the backfield. thrown for a loss that time by Tongatea, senior from Anchorage, Alaska.
Tongatea. This is what it's about, is attacking and being aggressive and not allowing the size of Oklahoma to intimidate you. Use your quickness, use the movement that we keep talking about, allow you to slip through one of these gaps of the offensive line.
That's what they need. 4 yards here on this third down. He's going to throw for it. Got the first down. Oh, a big third down conversion. Ricky Price was over there on the receiver.
Timing and accuracy from Sam Bradford. Another big third down here. It's the second one we've seen where it's third down and long. He's got to be able to have time to throw. This time he gets back quickly, puts the ball right over the shoulder of Broyles, anticipates well, and gives the receiver a chance to get upfield.
Three down defensive lineman. Now they show a pressure look. Brings 5. DeMarco picks him up. Bradford complete as he hits Iglesias. And Iglesias out of bounds, but there is a flag.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, number 85. A 5-yard penalty, first down.
You know, they're showing that pressure, and Oklahoma caught them instead of disguising, actually committing to the blitz. And I think Broyles was getting too excited. They had one-on-one matchups across the board on the outside, man-to-man coverage. With Bradford recognizing it, he had the time to throw. It's just about the execution on the road for the Sooners.
So instead of being inside the 10-yard line, they're back on the 35, and Chris Brown is now the running back. DeMarco Murray did an excellent job of picking up the blitzer, but there was a penalty. And here comes Brown. He could not stretch the defense. The front is all over him, and Taya is starting to have a big game along with Lemon, number 41.
The movement is confusing the Sooners. The Sooners are used to intimidating, almost bowling defensive lines, but right now, bit of a guessing game going on with the communication up front from Oklahoma, allowing this group with Taya and company to get through this offensive line and disrupt the backfield.
And they're moving 41 around. He's there positioned like a middle linebacker. He's been moving over to the right side occasionally, depending on the formation. They run a screen play into the middle, and Chaney's short of the first down.
Well, the risk when you bring pressure and you're going to show a lot of different looks is you might have 4 or 5 to go your way, and then all of a sudden you're going to see the jailbreak screen, and all it takes is one completion for the Sooners to be able to get big chunks of yardage, and now they've got a manageable third down.
And so, number 7, DeMarco Murray, back on the field. He's the running back.
The third down here for the Sooners on this drive.
He's going to throw for it again. Quick, and Iglesias makes a terrific play. He was hit by Lemon, and Joaquin Iglesias, the senior from Texas, hangs on.
What concentration by Iglesias. Third down. Lacey jumps around, gets a hand on it. We saw him last week with the quickness to be able to get a touchdown. This time, the strength and concentration for the catch.
Quickly, Murray trying to ambush him, but the defense was ready.
This up-tempo attack from Oklahoma. Seen it all year. Great execution. Puts the defense typically on its heels. Creates tempo for the offense. And a lot of times it puts a lot more pressure on the defense because they lose their aggression. The Cowboys are doing a great job of countering it up to this point.
So far, the Cowboy defense has been ready. They have not been ambushed. And it's 2nd down and 12 now. Bradford checking for a late signal. And now
there's the movement again.
Beckman's defense moving. Now he puts 4 down. There's Gresham. It took 4 Cowboys to finally bring him down.
This time they're only rushing 4. They're going to play zone. When you play zone, these tight ends from Oklahoma have a very nice job of settling down and finding the timing for Bradford and Gresham, especially down in the red zone. 14 Bradford constantly looking to get the football to number 18 Jermaine Gresham.
Here comes your power look. There's Matt Clapp. He's in front of Brown. Eldridge is an extra tight end. You see him there, number 83, looking over the Gresham. Power of the formation over on the right side. Now they move Gresham to the other side. The defender goes with him. They're going to go that way. And Brown, with a second effort, picks up a 1st and goal for the Sooners.
That's the 4th third down on this drive alone that the Sooners have been able to convert. They had struggled with that prior to this drive, but now starting to have more manageable third downs and doing well.
Touchdown, Oklahoma. Chris Brown, the junior from Louisiana. So Murray has one, and now Brown has one.
Well, what an answer, Brent. After what Oklahoma State was able to do, 14 plays, 79 yards, 6 minutes off the clock, and converting the 4 third downs.
It was not easy.
Oh, it wasn't.
Against Texas Tech, it was very easy last week.
That's the hardest they worked since probably the Cotton Bowl against Texas.
Jimmy Stevens adds the extra point. The Sooners regain the lead here in Stillwater. With his money than Boone Pickens has with Oklahoma State. And what they have done here and finished that one end zone, lots of lovely suites. It's a great intimate stadium. Fielded on the 5-yard line by Cox. Cox looking for alley, 25-30. And he battles his way out to the 35-yard line. Pretty good field position coming up. We've also got a flag. No flag got called. That was a nice 30-yard return by the defensive back Cox. We'll take another break and come right back. A special Aflac trivia question for my friend Kirk Herbstreit.
I've been on fire now.
What Oklahoma wrote the song, This Land Is Your Land? Here's a hint, buddy. It ain't Beyonce.
Well done. Well done.
Come on, baby.
Oh, my God.
That's one of the anthems in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I know this one. I just have to.
You can do it.
It has to come to me.
Here is the read with Zach.
You're gonna have to help me on this one. You're gonna have to.
It's not Garth Brooks.
Did you know this?
Okay. Of course, everybody knows this.
Oh,
Come on.
my bad. Oh, it's Woody.
Of course.
This land is your land.
I'm all over that one.
Woody Guthrie.
Woody Guthrie it is. I had the Woody part. I just
New York Island.
Oh, no, you're not going to sing too, are you?
Jimmy Kimmel won't let me. Keith toasted.
Oh, man.
So I listened to your gal Beyonce.
What did you think? Huh? What did you think of that?
I went right back to Willie Nelson so fast it was unbelievable. Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
But I'll say one thing. She is attractive.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, she's doing pretty well for herself.
First down and 10. Play action now by Zach. Incomplete. Threw high to Pettigrew, and let's check in and give him Matt Weiner.
How many places did you go this week where somebody said something to you about Beyonce? Everywhere.
My wife was first. Here comes Zach. Now he's forced out of the pocket, and he's in trouble. Gonna have to throw it away. Incomplete. And that was Frank Alexander, one of the talented defensive ends. And did a penalty flag come late over there, Herbie?
Yeah, right where the ball was intended for the receiver. Where the crowd reacted. You got coaches now from Oklahoma out in the field.
Uncatchable. So there must have been an interference call, and Stoops is thinking like that ball was hardly catchable. He was throwing it away.
Pass interference. Defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
I honestly thought he was winging it away. Didn't you?
I think he thought he was too. Nick Harris comes in late and cleans it up. And the Oklahoma coaches are upset because not about the pass interference call, but the fact that it's uncatchable. Maybe he was uncatchable because he was in the third row.
Harris made sure he wasn't catching that ball.
Oh, man.
Kendall Hunter back in as the running back. He was slipping as he made his cut, and Alexander making another stop.
Zach Robinson's going to have to eventually help out Kendall Hunter. I mean, Kendall Hunter is a great back, but he can't carry the entire load alone. As this game progresses, the Sooners are going to try to make adjustments to try to take him away. Robinson's ability to improvise, his ability to run on the option, and his ability to find Des Bryant and Brandon Pettigrew are going to become very, very important, but especially his feet. He's got to be able to take some of the pressure off number 24.
Second down and 10 for the Cowboys. Play fake by Zach, and Alexander's rolling in. Big Alexander blew this play up, and on the way down, he zipped it out of bounds.
But Frank Alexander's speed and power has been so important to the Sooners defense with the injury to Austin English. Look at both of the defensive ends. Jeremy Beal on one side, and on the backside, Frank Alexander. They had a huge game last week against Texas Tech. That's the first time we've really seen the freshman Frank Alexander burst into the backfield to chase down Zach Robinson.
Remember, the Sooners are without Austin English, and he was the preseason pick to be the defensive player of the year. And he's been out with that knee injury. Coach Stoops is hopeful that he can get him back for the bowl game. Zach can run. First down ahead, and a penalty flag. There's a penalty flag comes flying as Frank's up to make the stop on it.
One thing you could think of is maybe a push in the back by the Oklahoma wide receiver.
Blocking the back, offense, number 87.
That's what it is.
This is a 10-yard
Pettigrew,
penalty,
tight end.
third down.
He's out like a receiver out in the open space, and he's trying to help his quarterback out. Here he comes right off to the left there. Just great call by the officials. Very close to the first down marker. Robinson trying to extend himself to pick up the first down, but Pettigrew just pushing Dominic Franks right in the back, and now they're starting over, going back to third down.
That's the first penalty tonight on Oklahoma State.
But there was a great look at the feet and the quickness of what Zach Robinson can do when he has a chance in the open field.
Hunter back in. Here's the safety valve, but Zach's looking downfield in trouble again. He shakes Alexander. Takes off again. Got a first down ahead, and this time he picks it up. What a brilliant run by Zach Robinson as he had to shake off Frank Alexander. Travis Lewis finally over to make the play.
As if on cue here, these last few plays, Zach Robinson starting to show what he can do with his feet. This is just, that's a little Doug Flutie is appreciating that, I'm sure, back in New York, watching Zach Robinson. A little Olay, a little dance move, and incredible acceleration upfield to pick up that first down.
Mr. Pete loves it. First down and 10. Cowboys trail it by 4. Kendall broke away from Jackson to pick up a couple more.
And I think you and I talked a lot about coming into last week's games. Was the Oklahoma defense going to be ready to deal with Graham Harrell? I think they not only impressed us, but everybody who watched them. Brent Venables in the last few weeks has streamlined some things. But I think these new faces now are settling down on the Oklahoma defense. They're seeing more things. They're getting more game reps. It's allowing them to play much, much faster and with a lot more confidence. And it shows in the way they're executing.
You see how tough it's been. You can see how he has that torn right sleeve, and that was big Frank Alexander. Got a paw on him, and he ripped. So we're going to have a little equipment repair. They'll cut that sleeve off. Well, Thanksgiving Sunday, count your blessings like the housewives do. That's right. One's dating her best friend's ex-husband. One's covering up her son's crime. One's husband by regaining his sight. All new ABC's Desperate Housewives. That's some neighborhood, folks.
That's one I checked. I've kind of checked out on that one. I've missed that.
Have you? Yeah.
Other things going on, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. But a lot of people like it.
It's a
popular show now.
Huge show.
Yeah. It's good ratings. Kendall Hunter.
Got the sleeve completely cut off now. Looks like he's trying to make a fashion statement.
Yeah, the repair. Second down and 9. Again, stepping away from trouble. And being chased out of bounds by Keenan Clayton, folks. Remember the name. I'm telling you what, Keenan Clayton, he can do just about anything as an athlete. He's got the best vertical leap, the fastest time, and he can bench more than any linebackers now. When they do that, he is the physical specimen right there.
Sure is. Former safety, great speed. And I just talked about how important Zach Robinson is to this offense with his feet. One thing he has to be aware of is when he starts to run, get us in the open field, this Oklahoma defense will bring it.
Needs 6. A diving interception, incomplete. But they stopped him on 3rd down, and that was Clayton again.
Pretty close here. Athletic ability by the linebackers. Knocks this ball down and really never had a chance. Even if Clayton's not there, ball is thrown low.
They had Des bracketed, didn't they?
Yeah, they sure did. Linebackers, safeties, and corners all keeping an eye on number 1.
Yeah, when you got a linebacker who can run, you know, as well as Clayton. Well, this to make it a 1-point game. 44-yard field goal attempt by Dan Bailey. Whacks it pretty good. And we've got a 1-point game. 14-13, so coming up on the Capital One halftime report. Big John, Craig, and the Flutie Man will have all the day's highlights, including the 2 teams who advanced the ACC championship. Big upset in the Big 12, and Oregon State in trouble against Oregon. And the Flutie Man's got to be very happy. Nephew had a big play, and BC's going back to the ACC title game. Virginia Tech, right?
Yeah, Virginia Tech, BC. But you know, if you look at not just the whole day, but what we're watching here in this first half, you and I were talking before the game. We said, you think Oklahoma State can keep it close? Every time Bob Stoops has come to Stillwater, it's a close game. They've been able to take advantage of some opportunities. Their defense has played very well. I mean, that was the last time we saw Sam Bradford on his heels and being somewhat rattled. Now, he's kept his composure, and he's led them to some big scoring drives. But give the Oklahoma State defense a lot of credit for the way they played in this first half. Still time to go.
And Texas Tech Red Raider fans and Texas Longhorn fans aren't going anywhere. Glued to this one. Here's the kickoff. Murray again. Lit up.
They're hitting down there.
I mean, they're pounding him. Well, the Skins game on ABC tomorrow. The conclusion at 3:30 Eastern. That's always a lot of fun. 2-time defending champ Stephen Ames. Phil Mickelson is in it. He's a big football fan. He's probably watching tonight. And KJ Choi leads everybody. 75 grand he pocketed today. And Rocco Mediate, the U.S. Open runner-up. They're competing for that $1 million purse. What a story Mediate was last year. Another great sports fan. .251. Murray spins back the other way and only gains a couple of yards. You can see the gang tackling by the Cowboys.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Brent, is look how many orange jerseys are around the football. And after the game that DeMarco had last week against Texas Tech, for that matter, the last 2 weeks, he's averaged 10 yards a carry. You can tell with 2 weeks of preparation, the #1 guy they're trying to take out of this game is DeMarco Murray.
2nd and 8. Pretty much a base defensive look that time, and deflected incomplete. That was Tonga Tea.
What a first
He likes
half.
this chilly weather. When you come down from Alaska, I said, come on, man, let's get it on.
He's like this.
Look at him, huh?
This is balmy weather.
Yeah, this is great, man. I can come out of my shorts for the second half.
But Tea has made a lot of plays, and he's shown some good quickness a lot of times to get by John Cooper, the center of the Sooners.
Fires complete. Goes back to Iglesias. Iglesias has been their best weapon. I have not called Johnson's name all game long, and Gresham only a handful.
They blitz man-to-man on the outside. Iglesias against Lacey. That is the 5th straight third down they've been able to execute here for the Sooners.
4 catches for 40 yards for Iglesias. There is Johnson. 9 yards and out of bounds.
It's a good idea of the arm strength of Sam Bradford.
Herbie, I think he's got a chance to be really good at the next level. I really do. I am very, very impressed with...
How about being a sophomore and the way he manages this no-huddle offense, too? Not just the physical traits.
There's Murray. Crosses midfield before he's brought down by Ori Lemon, junior from Houston.
I mean, he makes it look so easy that I think people take it for granted. This is the first year that they've implemented this hurry-up offense, and I think it's faster than any offense in America, and yet there are very few mistakes, very few turnovers, very few penalties. They do a very incredible job of managing it, but it's all because of Sam Bradford's understanding.
Middle screen, Iglesias cuts back out to the outside. Didn't really fool the defense that time as Parrish Cox came up.
We have a Cowboy.
Cowboys shaking up on the
Get up
play. One of the defensive linemen is down, and that's Chatham, I believe. He's a senior also from Houston. Both of these schools recruit down Texas way. There's so many outstanding football players down there. So Herbie, I'm gonna ask you about my point about the BCS deciding this tiebreaker if we have a 3-way tie. I'm just not comfortable with using that system to do it.
Yeah, it is the 5th tiebreaker. I mean, they had to go awful long way to eventually get to the BCS standings, but still, it's so subjective.
Right.
That's the frustrating thing. Texas is sitting here watching this, hoping that Oklahoma wins, but wins ugly. Oklahoma needed Texas Tech to beat Baylor. I mean, it gets a little crazy here. I like your point, though.
Well, let's show you what it is right now. The point differential.
Yeah.
I had the fellas down there. The Prince got here's where we are right now. In a point differential, Bob Stoops and Oklahoma would have a lead, and Mac and Texas could not argue with black and white. Texas Tech, of course, suffered because of that 40-point blowout last week that we had down there. So that's where they stand. So you know what Texas argument kind of goes away. They got the +10 against Oklahoma, but the rest of the same opponents now. We didn't look at the entire schedule. Remember, just the games in the South and that one game all 3 played Kansas. That's what we did. Right. And I've got to ask the commissioner, Dan Beebe, why they didn't go to some kind of a system like that. 2nd down and 6. Middle screen again. Cutting back is Broyles. He's got the 1st down. Plenty of time, as you and I know, for Oklahoma.
With a minute to go and a couple timeouts already in Oklahoma State territory.
Herbie, did you see the Kansas-Missouri game?
Yeah, I did. I thought the snow, the wind, the rain, something might slow down Todd Reesing and Chase Daniel. They just went back and forth the whole day.
Missouri played their hearts out, lost it at the end. We'll see them next week, same stadium, Big 12 championship. Grabbed. What a beautiful grab by Gresham as he was going out of bounds on the far side.
Talk about 2 great tight ends in his football game. Gresham, 6'6", 261-pound junior, goes up into the air, uses his big paw to just bring it in. And not only that, but he gets hit by Sexton as he makes the catch and picks up 9 yards. And gets out of bounds.
So look at the school records he has. Standing tall, and Iglesias couldn't get it. Was it a little low, Herbie? Is that what it looked like?
Yeah, a little bit low, but based on the way Iglesias plays and the way we've all seen him, he's usually capable of making that catch. Ball's low. For Sam Bradford, how dare he throw a ball that's down by the knees of a wide receiver? But Iglesias, 9 times out of 10, he makes that catch.
Well, they can stop the clock with a 1st down. It is 3rd and 1. They've got 2 timeouts. They got plenty of time here. They're going to throw for it. High and caught by Gresham. Deflected and caught. Great concentration by number 18 on this ball right here.
Second time we've seen the athletic ability of Jermaine Grisham. Pretty good coverage, actually, by Cox, the corner who was lined up with him. The difference is he's about 5'11", trying to match up with a tight end who's 6'6", but he was there. But the focus, the difference there by Grisham.
Throwing back to him, powering toward the end zone. Looks like he's down about the 6-inch line. They're going to mark it. And the timeout is going to be used here by Stoops.
It's a great look at the inside move by Grisham. Huge opening there with the blitz coming from the linebacker. Sam Bradford is like a coach as a quarterback. He reads the defense perfectly. He knows exactly where he wants to go with a football. Once he saw the linebacker blitzing, he knew where he had an opening. And he knew it had a receiver getting into that opening. And this time it's Grisham who's had a huge drive right here for the Sooners.
Big lift for the Sooners. Josh Heupel is a quarterback here. Now coaches quarterbacks over there with Bradford and his backup, Joey Halsley, over there on the sideline. Bradford followed Heupel and Jason White. Sure, the instant replay boys are looking at it, but he clearly was down short of the end zone.
Yeah.
Well, their big favorite to score here. It's just pick your poison. Which one of these running backs do you want? 12th play of the drive coming up for the Sooners.
To run over the left side usually. See what they do here.
Fumble on the snap. Bradford has to go on the ground on it. So he and Murray, and Oklahoma State has it. That is Lemon who came up from that pile. Stoops wants instant replay to take a look at this.
He should, because it looked like Lemon stole the ball away from Sam Bradford. Ball is clearly on the ground. Bradford never had a handle on it. The ball's loose. Now Bradford looks like he has it. Lemon comes in and just takes it away. Did it look like Sam Bradford had the football there?
Well, I'm sure up in the booth now they're running that replay back and forth and taking a look at it. That's what the coaches are waiting for as we take another look at it. Was he down?
Looks like he has the football, and then Lemon comes in over top. To his credit, like any defensive player is taught, take the ball away, grab it away from him. Officials sometimes can't see if the ball's secured. He comes up with the football.
I must admit, looking at it over and over, it looks like he's down.
Yeah, it looks like Bradford has it.
It looks like he's down, and Lemon made a smart play, but I'm not sure it's going to stand. And that would indicate it isn't going to stand for sure. So that would give the Sooners a
huge break. Yeah, huge break to get this football back.
Now, looks like a timeout, I believe, has been called, and now the Oklahoma State side says, what's going on here?
I'm glad they're confused, because
wouldn't you have thought that they...
I would have thought they would want to snap the ball. Let's go fast as you can.
I would have thought that the referee would have turned the microphone on with all that going on, right?
Usually, yeah, you go from the headsets to the mic and you make the announcement.
So, in looking up there, and let's check, did Stoops use a timeout over there? I see that Oklahoma is without timeouts. So, my thought is that they might have used a timeout to make sure that that play was looked at. I think Stoops had a pretty good look at what was going on. And now Oklahoma State's going to challenge it.
The call is confirmed.
The Sooners offense out on the field. A couple timeouts used. All I know is Oklahoma has the football right now.
They have a second down and goal, and
the right end of the day, the right call is Sooner football.
The challenge is charged with their third timeout. They're now out of timeouts for this half.
I'm just not sure that it was cleanly handled to begin with.
No, it wasn't. But when he went down,
yeah, I think it's the right call, and that's probably what's important here. Second down and goal. Murray looking over to the right. They lob end zone, out of the end zone as Broyles incomplete. And that was coverage by Jacob Lacey, number 17, going with him, and the field judge was right on top of it.
But Ricky Price had Broyles man-to-man, and I'll tell you, Jacob Lacey does a great job of coming off of the receiver Iglesias and falling back onto Broyles going to the flag.
Now third down and goal. Not make it here, and that will cause Stoops to make a decision. DeMarco Murray is split out. He's slotted to the right. Rush 5. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Gresham. And why not? He's the man who brought them down the field. He made the big plays on that drive. Jermaine Gresham, the junior from Ardmore, Oklahoma.
Well put, Brent. If anybody deserved a touchdown on that drive, it's Jermaine Gresham. 2 circus catches, and then this one, we've seen him do it so many times in this area where he gives a little outside move, just enough to slow down and make the linebacker hesitate, and then he gets to the middle, and that's a timing route. We've seen them throw that 100 times in practice.
Stevens takes another one on.
Gresham and Bradford have an ability to run this route as well as anybody. Imagine being a safety and trying to match up with Gresham. You see that little hesitation? That's all he needs to get the safety to bite just a bit to the outside, and look how easy it is. I mean, that is textbook from a tight end going up against Andre Sexton. Little outside move, he bites on it, and by the time he moves to the inside, the ball's already in the air with the anticipation by his quarterback.
Still a one-possession game. Oklahoma State is down 8. And that in itself is a story. Remember last week in Norman at halftime? It was 42-7. Sooners, 42-7. Game basically was over against the Red Raiders. Here, 21-13. He's a fine young man. Outstanding golfer. Has great balance. He's accurate as a thrower. And he's moving up the charts as far as NFL scouts and Raiders. Kicked along the ground now and picked up at the 8-yard line by Dez. So Bryant taken down with 5 seconds left here in the first half. Well, there's a lot of things going on this big rivalry week, and John and the gang will have all the details. The ACC championship is set. Missouri still doesn't know who they will play in the Big 12 championship. Great game in Atlanta next week, of course, matching #1 Alabama against a team that is absolutely on fire, the Florida Gators. And 8. So good job by Mike Gundy's Cowboys. Let's go down now to Lisa with Coach Stoops.
Thanks, Brent. Coach, first describe from your vantage point what you saw on that fumble. A lot of confusion on the field. We were unsure what was going on. What did you see?
We recovered the football and it was down, and then when we got up, they picked it up, and so we were pretty sure we had it.
All right. Now, a close game, and from a nice, long, steady, efficient drive to end the half. What impressed you most about your offense on that last touchdown drive?
Well, just the poise to come back and put it in the end zone, overcome a little adversity. We need to run the football better. Hopefully in the second half we need to. Defensively, we had some third downs where we've had some pressure and haven't been able to finish the sack.
All right, thanks a lot. Good luck in the second half. Brent.
All right, Lisa, thank you. Hey, let's send it to the gang at Times Square studio. Big John is there with Craig James and the Flutie Man for the Capital One halftime report. Take it away, John.
That's right. Craig James and the Flutie Man right here. All right. Obviously, Oklahoma is in front of this game. But probably the most impressive thing that we can talk about is what Oklahoma State has been able to do to stay right in this contest.
We said during pregame that they had to come out and play physical. If they weren't physical with Oklahoma, Oklahoma would jump all over them just like they did against Texas Tech. This is a football team at Oklahoma State, though, that has really come on, and they've been outstanding when they have a chance to get plays made on the field with Zach Robinson's legs. To me, that's the key for Oklahoma State, and therefore for Oklahoma. Can Zach Robinson do stuff with his legs to create opportunities and big plays for offense? Otherwise, Bradford's unbelievable with that, the offense and how efficient they are.
He really is consistent. And I think what Oklahoma State has done defensively is come up and tackle. Oklahoma's used to making big plays in the passing game, guys breaking tackles, taking off, making them earn every inch, come up, hit them, make them be consistent.
A big turnover, perhaps. Oklahoma State, that would be their best friend.
In Stillwater, each team scored 3 times. The difference in the first half, Oklahoma State twice settling for field goals when they get inside the Oklahoma 30. Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, what do you think of the second half?
Well, first of all, Oklahoma played very well defensively in there in the red zone. But also remember, Oklahoma came back twice and answered. When State got close to them, they answered with touchdowns. Showed a lot of class.
Crucial drive at the end of the first half. Cowboys get the ball to start the second half. What would you do offensively for them in the next 30 minutes?
Well, Oklahoma State, as long as you got Zach Robinson playing at quarterback, you got a shot. Remember, Oklahoma was a 7-point favorite in this ball game. Hey, the experts thought it would be tough, and it is tough.
Well, if style points are important for the pollsters, and who know what they're thinking out there with Texas and Oklahoma perhaps headed for a 3-way tie, the Sooners have to do more in the second half.
Oh, absolutely. They got to get back and destroy them unless they come back and make it a real close ball game. Then, not enough style points.
So they have to do more work.
They have to do a lot more.
The second half is coming up. We'll return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
This is ESPN Rivalry Week, presented by Samsung Mobile.
Turn the car around, give me a break, let me make my own pattern. All that it takes is some time, but I'm shattered. I always turn the car around.
Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines with Kirk Herbstreit and Lisa Salters. I'm Brent Musburger. We welcome you back. An 8-point lead by the Sooners. 21 points ties their season low for the first half. They had 21 against Cincinnati and Texas. And Herbie, we may have a little story developing. We noticed that you can see the quarterback here. Bradford's taped that left hand. Talk about that.
Sam Bradford has come out in the start of the second half. It looks like his left thumb is taped, and we'll keep a close eye on that. We'll talk to Lisa to find out maybe the details. But in watching him in warm-ups, coming out here, he's taking some snaps and working with the center, John Cooper. The one thing you have to be careful of is with an injured left thumb is getting that hand injured even more so on a snap. So you have all the impact going on the right hand and not at all on that left thumb.
You don't want to read too much of the body language. No, he was flexing a little bit.
Yep.
And as Chris Fowler told you, Oklahoma State gets the first possession, and we cannot emphasize how important this is for the Cowboys, down 8. Matthew Moreland kicks it away. And it is fielded on the 10-yard line, and well short of the 20 is Victor Johnson. And now, Herbie, time for our Southwest Airlines playbook.
The Sooners came in on fire offensively into this game. 3 straight 60-point performances. Give the Oklahoma State Cowboys a lot of credit. They mixed up their looks, made some plays, allowed themselves to stay in this game, but eventually Oklahoma settled down. In fact, their last 2 drives, they were able to go 79 yards, then 80 yards, both of them touchdowns to end the first half to give them that 8-point lead.
4 receivers out, and Kendall Hunter, the running back, and he kept it. Beautiful fake. by Zach Robinson that time. Jackson forced to make the tackle, and many of the Sooner defensive players jumped at Hunter, as I did.
Can't say it enough how important it is for Zach Robinson to be a factor, especially if the Cowboys want to pull into this second half and make this a football game and take the lead. His feet and his decisions have to become huge.
Second effort, and the ball came loose. Ball came loose. Sooners come out with it. We'll let the officials sort it out.
Referee saying third down.
He's saying there was no turnover on that play.
You know, the defense is always going to react like that. See if Hunter is down. Once the ball comes out, no.
That's a fumble. There's no question that's a fumble, and there's no question that it was recovered by Nick Harris.
And Brent, I don't think they stopped. They didn't have time there to stop the play. No doubt about it that
Nick
was
Harris
a fumble by Kendall Hunter, recovered by Nick Harris. Ball's not even close.
The umpire should be looking right at it.
Sure. And Oklahoma State gets to the line real fast. Wait till Bob sees that one on film.
Play action. Fired down the middle. And cross midfield. And there is Davis again.
They have two receivers to the bottom. Davis has had a lot of success getting this time up the seam. You saw Nick Harris drifting to the outside because of who else? Dez Bryant occupying his attention. It opened up the middle there. Nice crease in the Sooner defense, and a well-thrown ball by Zach Robinson.
23-yard gain. Now checking over with Mike Gundy and his staff over there, and they have changed this one up as Hunter switches to the left. Trying to bring heat. Hunter picks it up. Complete. Dez Bryant to the 10-yard line. And with the opening drive of the second half, Cowboys get a break, and now they've got a first and goal after a 36-yard gain.
Very similar play. This time you'll see the safeties work to the outside. It's going to open up again a nice crease here for the Oklahoma State offense. Look at the safeties occupied there, held to the middle, and a well-thrown ball. That's a ball that as a quarterback you've got to get back and throw the football with a lot of velocity, a low ball to not allow the safeties to come over to make the play. Two straight throws here by Zach Robinson.
Now, let me correct myself. It's back on the 11-yard line. They can pick up a first down as Hunter takes a couple of defenders with him. Gerald McCoy in on that stop with Jeremy Beal, the left side, as you look at the defense for Oklahoma. And there's Big McCoy. And there's Beal.
Oklahoma State has struggled at times inside the 10-yard line. Has really settled for a lot of short field goals this year. In this game, they've got to execute and come away with touchdowns once they get inside the 10-yard line.
Zach going to take off short of the 5-yard line. That's going to bring up a third down. Beal again.
What an advantage for the Sooners to have the speed coming off the edge. The way you have Jeremy Beal and Frank Alexander, McCoy and Taylor, Bennett, Granger give you a good push up the middle. And then if the quarterback happens to step up, you can see the closing speed from Frank Alexander and Jeremy Beal coming from the outside in.
There's confusion with the offense. Now the defense with a late substitution. We got third down now. Play action, in trouble. They brought the heat. Caught. Touchdown, Dez Bryant.
Dez Bryant has wanted to make a huge play in a big game so badly. And how about Zach Robinson keeping the play alive? The hands by Dez Bryant. And Brent, I can't help but go back to the early part of this drive when Kendall Hunter fumbled the football that Nick Harris recovered, that there was not enough time for the review to keep the drive alive, and the Cowboys capitalize on the opportunity.
Third down. They go for two. Zach, and it's read perfectly by Beal.
Picked up. It's a live ball now. They can go for two the other way. They are not going to stop big Frank Alexander. He's going to rumble in for the deuce. You saw that fan, what he was looking for. No flag. Play will be obviously under review.
Well, they're going to review this one, but they missed the last one. This one looks like a fumble. Robinson, who's made so many plays with his feet, trying to make something happen. Beal's in on him. Ball comes out, and give credit to the Oklahoma Sooner defense for not giving up on the play and coming up with 2 points.
Those defensive ends, folks, Frank Alexander and Jeremy Beal, have really stepped it up since the second quarter. It's a live ball.
Oh, yeah.
After further video review, the play is confirmed. 2-point touchdown for Oklahoma.
So that makes it 23-19. Now, but let's go back earlier in the drive. Now watch, the ball clearly comes out, and watch number 5 right there. He sees it, got it, and for whatever reason, it was ruled dead. And Oklahoma State capitalizes.
Fight.
This ESPN telecast available in high definition on ABC HD. In the thick of things. And it has been Bedlam. 23-19. A 4-point margin right now. The golden shoes, Dan Bailey, sophomore from Mustang, Oklahoma. At the goal line is Murray. The ace back looking for daylight, stopped at the 25-yard line. Herbie?
We've talked quite a bit about this, but Kendall Hunter fumbling this football. The Sooners, Nick Harris recovering it. He is called down, gives the Cowboys, who hurry to the line, an extra chance. They convert a few big passes. They get down inside the 10-yard line, and Zach Robinson's athletic ability keeps this play alive. Des Bryant with a sensational catch.
First down and 10. Murray is alongside Bradford. Bradford with that taped left finger. Non-throwing hand. On the move, throws incomplete. Iglesias, the intended receiver. And Herbie, the drive charts, they tell a story now.
Sure do. You see the second drive, they took advantage of an interception by Dominique Franks, short drive. Other than that, they were forced to punt, and then they settled down their last 2 drives to end the half. They converted a number of third downs. One drive they were 4 for 4. The other drive they were 3 for 3. Big on third down and able to come away with 14 points.
Second, Murray picks up a couple of yards before he is thrown down.
That's the shocking thing to me, Brent, so far tonight. Tim Beckham, the defensive coordinator from Oklahoma State, deserves a ton of credit. The whole defense does. Oklahoma's been running the football at will in the last 5 weeks. Good look there at Tim Beckham. And so far, they have 68 yards on the ground. Constant confusion, moving people around. They've done it the whole game.
Changing the front. 3 down, fires, deflected, complete, look out! End zone ahead for Gresham. The ricochet man puts up 6 more. 73 yards.
Sometimes you got to be lucky. Sam Bradford actually puts this ball on the money right into the hands of Manny Johnson. The ball goes right off of his hands. And who's sitting there waiting? Then a young man who's had the biggest night for this Sooner offense, Jermaine Gresham. Right place at the right time. 6 points on the board for the Sooners.
Here's little Jimmy Stevens. All 5, 6 of him. Tacks one on. All I can say, folks, luck be a lady tonight. 30-19. They would create a 3-way tie for first, and then the BCS ranking, the highest ranking. Remember, Texas had a slight lead coming into this game. Oklahoma State wins, of course. Then Texas Tech would play Missouri next Saturday. Here's on the 10-yard line, Cox. Let's go back to this touchdown, Herbie.
Well, again, Sam Bradford would love to say that this is a play they work on Thursdays. The ball's pretty well thrown. It's a third down pass that Manny Johnson should have been able to catch. Goes right off of his hands, almost like he pushed it forward to Jermaine Grisham sitting on the backside.
You're wrong. They work on a Wednesday.
Oh, my fault. My fault.
Lisa.
Well, Brent, I was talking to Mike Gundy before the second half started, and he said, you know what, our defense has played well. Their tight end has got a lot of tip balls, but eventually those tips are going to come to us. Obviously, eventually hasn't started yet for Oklahoma State.
Yeah, exactly. Kendall Hunter with the first carry.
Yeah, I want to remind everybody that Jermaine Grisham is 6'6", 260, and the speed that he has on the outside when he's running away from people. This time, showing Hunter here on first down. Cowboys need to bounce back and, again, answer. We always talk about that, how important that is in college football because of the emotions. Now the Cowboys, ball's back in their court. See what they can do.
Zach is pulling out from an option look. Can't find an open man. Splits the defenders and picks up a first down. A Tarkenton-like run, if you will.
Very, very athletic quarterback who's improved so much with his passing over the last couple years, but at the end of the day, he's a dual threat guy that can make you pay for it if you don't have contain. This is a very athletic defensive line from Oklahoma, and he's running circles around him right now, and he's picking up huge chunks of yards for the Cowboys.
Kept it. Here he comes. Another first down. Let's check in with Matt in New York. Matt.
All right, Brent, Sports Center right now, powered by Vizio. Oregon built a 20-point lead in Corvallis on Oregon State. The Beavers have only been able to trade touchdowns since. The lead is now 13, and an Oregon win would open up the door for USC to head to the Rose Bowl by beating UCLA next week. In the meantime, Trojans are absolutely smothering Notre Dame on ESPN. The Irish recorded their first down of the game on the last play of the third quarter. It's 31-3.
Now we go.
First down. Charlie still calling plays?
I believe he is, sir. Yes, sir.
First down and 10 now. Zach fires over to Des Bryant. They've got another first down. And Des Bryant is starting to make an impact as we take a look at the Pacific Life game summary, and we have been keeping you up to date. As we started the evening, we said these two running backs would be a factor in the game.
And I mean, you look at the numbers, pretty similar. You have to say Kendall Hunter right now has probably been a bit of a factor for the Cowboys. DeMarco Murray started the game fast with a big touchdown, but the Cowboys have done a pretty good job of containing him and the Sooners running game.
You know, I go back to a decision that Coach Mike Gundy made that I'm not sure was the right one. When he went for 2 early in this game, as I look at that 30-19 margin right now. Here's Hunter spinning down there. They're down by 11 points, Herbie. And had they kicked it, they'd be sitting on a 28-20 game, still by 8. I don't know if you want to chase that early.
I was surprised in the third quarter, midway through the third quarter. A lot of scoring is going to be going on here to take an automatic opportunity to get that extra point away. I've seen that a few times in some of the games today. Georgia Tech was playing a little bit of that game with Georgia. They're going for 2 early in that game with Paul Johnson. Ended up winning that game. Huge win for Georgia Tech.
Mike coordinating the offense. Got a 3rd and 5.
Remember, Zach Robinson on 3rd down, if he's not finding open receivers, has been a nightmare for the Sooners to try to contain. He's picked up a lot of yards and a lot of first downs tonight by running.
Pettigrew has been quiet as a receiver, active as a blocker, 3-down lineman, and he's lead blocked that time. As as Hunter came across the 30-yard line, and Beal tripping him up. And Pettigrew, a very fine tight end, and he was one of the lead blockers over there that time.
That time on 3rd and 5 with a play call here with the zone read, the handoff to Hunter. You got to believe that Mike Gundy realized that he had 2 downs to pick up 5.5 or 6 yards. Came pretty close there on his first attempt, but had every idea in the world of going for this, no matter what the results were. There's our charts. We love to see that.
They use it at home and the road. Got to hurry now. It's down to 2 seconds. Got it off. Broke to the 20, 10, end zone, touchdown, coming back. On 4th and 1, Zach Robinson goes 31 yards on the Oklahoma defense.
Great blocking here by the right tackle, Brady Bonds. Steve Denning also a nice seal block, and the speed and athletic ability once he gets into the open field. And how about Des Bryant giving a little effort downfield to make sure the quarterback was able to get to the end zone.
Now Coach Gundy goes back to kicking extra points. So quarterback Zach Robinson and the Cowboys are hanging tough in Stillwater. The Sooners are far from being out of the wood in this. I note that he's having a pretty good year. So some of you fantasy players who took a shot at him, you're probably pretty happy you got him around now. And,
you play fantasy?
No.
I don't either. I don't understand.
I play real ball, real numbers. No, I mean,
boom.
Boom goes the foot. Fielded at the 4 by Iglesias. Now to the 26-yard line, and let's go back to Herbie's tip drill. Be it Thursday or Wednesday, folks. That was against Texas. Broyles there. This was earlier with the tight end, and then finally the coup to 6 points.
And the last time they had a ball. By the way, look at the speed. 6'6", 260 pounds, just walking away from the undersized safeties and corners from Oklahoma State. So not only the tip drill, but serious speed in the open field by Grisham. Sooners' last 3 possessions have been touchdowns.
Oklahoma up 4. Show blitz. They run Brown away from it. Ganged up on after about a yard or so.
Be careful out there. A little bit of swinging there from Oklahoma State. A lot of times defensive linemen get frustrated from being held. They're not getting any help from the officials. Start to take matters into their own hands. But it's a competitive game. You don't want to lose your cool.
That's Sexton, the linebacker, who's creeping up. Bradford throws in underneath to Brown, and this makes it 3rd and very short.
I think because Oklahoma State is doing a good job at the line of scrimmage and taking away the running game, Sam Bradford, which he's done these last few possessions, is going to have to get most of the yardage through the air to soften things up a bit, and then you can get back to running the ball.
Toss play with Brown, struggling. Bus for the first down. That was a fine run by Chris Brown, the junior from Louisiana.
I mean, they are fighting, scratching, clawing for everything that they can get when they try to run the football. You get 9 guys up at the line of scrimmage on 3rd and short, and Lemon is there to hit Brown short of the first down, but the toughness there and the power by Chris Brown gives the first down.
Derek Burton is down, shaken up, and being tended to. Well, we welcome in a friend of ours who's certainly watching the game very closely down in Austin, Coach Mack Brown of the Texas Longhorns. And Mack, first let me ask you, what are you seeing here tonight? What do you see with the Oklahoma Sooners, my friend?
Well, we're seeing 2 great teams, Brent and Kirk. I mean, we played them both and beat both of them, and knew they were a good football team, and Oklahoma State's tough at home, and So I'm not surprised by anything I've seen tonight.
Mac, what is your feeling on the three-way tiebreaker in the system and getting down to the BCS standings, I guess, is the fifth tiebreaker when you have three teams that are tied? I mean, do you think this is the best answer?
Well, Kirk, number one, it's three really good football teams with Texas, Oklahoma, and Texas Tech, and somebody's going to be really disappointed tomorrow. There'll be two teams that probably deserve to play in a championship that won't get there. But it seems to me like after looking at the SEC rule for a tiebreaker and the ACC rule for a tiebreaker, it's pretty simple that if Oklahoma State wins, Tech is in head-to-head with us. And since Tech is not in the mix if Oklahoma wins because it's two highly rated teams, we should be in head-to-head if Oklahoma wins tonight, regardless of the score.
Stick with us here, Mac, on the 1st and 10. Murray, the Oklahoma running back now. Bradford checks over to see what Kevin Wilson wants done. Sent down below. 3 down linemen they had been using. 4 down and moving Sexton in, and now they come back with the linebacker standing up. Rush 4. Bradford in trouble, runs out of it. And close to a first down. And Mac, let us say that Oklahoma does wind up with a couple more style points, and certainly they were closing in, and they're playing here tonight. Let's just surmise for a minute. Texas is still very much in the chase for the BCS championship game down in Miami, though. Aren't I correct about that? I mean, Oklahoma would have to go play Missouri and Kansas City, and then we'll see what happens with Alabama and Florida. What are your feelings about that?
Well, there's no doubt. I do think the Big 12 will revisit this rule, Brent, next spring, because head-to-head, if we talk about playoffs all the time, when you play head-to-head and it doesn't count, it's really hard to act like playoffs would make a difference. Our kids have played great. They are in the mix. You guys saw the Texas-Oklahoma game. It was a classic, but it was on a neutral field, and we won the game. So I think that's where I would be coming from. Oklahoma's a great team, and I think it'd be hard to try to explain to our kids next week why Missouri and Oklahoma are playing when we beat both of them.
Mac, how frustrating is it to sit back and have this be subjective, whether it's the BCS or it's the Big 12 South with a three-way tiebreaker? As you said, you guys don't have to apologize for anything, the season that you've enjoyed this year, but to sit back and to not have any control over this has to be very difficult.
No, I think the only thing that can come out of this good, Kirk, because, again, there'll be two good teams not go, is that hopefully everybody will revisit this system and not have kids not be able to get someplace when they've accomplished what they needed to on the field.
Mac, thank you very much for being with us tonight, and good luck regardless of what happens. You and the Longhorns have had a wonderful season, and we've enjoyed covering some of the games, I'll tell you that. The Big 12 South, ladies and gentlemen, has been just a wonderful, wonderful conference. And, you know, we watched a couple games from the north. Herbie, the Nebraska comeback with a 57-yard field goal against Colorado. And then the Missouri-Kansas game, a conference that has had a great, great year. From the play action down high, snapped out by Broyles. Ryan Broyles snaps it down, and the Sooners are on the move again.
Well, what patience here by Sam Bradford. Number 4, Levine, is actually in his window. He's sitting right here and taking it away. Watch how he sits patiently, waits for it to open. Takes a lot of time by the offensive line. Nice job.
Ball, false start, offense, number 75. It's 5-yard penalty, second down. Excuse me, first down. Correction, 79.
We got it.
First down of 15. All day, Murray. First down and approaching the red zone. Lemon back to make the stop on the running back.
He hits the receiver downfield. These linebackers all of a sudden lose a bit of their swagger. They start to drop, taking away the deeper throws. And Bradford, well aware of it, makes a nice throw underneath.
Here comes Murray diving. What a great all-purpose athlete DeMarco Murray from Las Vegas is. Able to run like we've seen here today. He's returned the bulk of the kickoffs for them.
Catches the ball well, does it all.
Nothing he can't do, and Stoops appreciates the effort he's getting from him tonight as Brown checks in. You saw him over on the sideline. 3 down linemen now. 2nd down and 5. Oklahoma State back under heels again on this drive. They show blitz. And Brown breaks free, and a 1st and goal. Just shy of the 7-yard lines where that ball is going to be spotted, I believe.
Chinasa tried to jump the snap count. Defensive lineman actually lined up as a linebacker. He got through, but as he picked a gap to go through, Chris Brown decided to take the next one to the outside.
Brown juggles it incomplete. Parrish Cox was the corner coming up on that play, and Brown lost his concentration just a little bit on this.
Yep, and we've seen Oklahoma make a living on this play, and so many times they dump that out to Murray or Brown.
2nd and goal. Zone incomplete. And again, it was Cox back with the coverage on Chaney in the end zone.
Great coverage this time by Cox. Sam Bradford a little bit short with this ball, and he's very fortunate that Cox could not locate the ball as he went airborne. Ball is underthrown. Cox could have made the interception.
Here's a 3rd down and goal, and Murray back on the field. He split out of the backfield. Bradford in trouble. Faulting for the end zone as he was being run out of bounds. Bradford goes airborne.
Brent, how about the athletic ability here by Sam Bradford? We've talked on and on and on about Zach Robinson. Bradford goes up in the air and gets forced out by Ori Lemon, but he ran away from Levine, who's chasing him from the backside before he went up into the air.
What a spectacular picture that is. 4th down and goal now. Look back over with Brown set in there behind Matt Clapp, the fullback. Gresham, the talented tight end, is over on the right. He's been a nightmare. Fumble on the snap. Touchdown, Bradford. It is now becoming a little bit apparent that the injured left hand is causing a problem. That is the 2nd time now that Bradford has put the ball on the ground. But in each instance, he has saved it. Once with the recovery, and watch what he does here. Picks it up. 6 more for the Sooners.
Sooners catching the breaks today as far as tip balls, and with the snaps that they've had some problems with. This time Bradford not just recovering it, but picking it up and getting it into the end zone, maintaining that poise that we always talk about with him.
Touchdowns on their last 4 possessions. And as Branch Rickey might say, luck, folks, is a residue of skill. And this is a team with a lot of skill. Well, we've got a brand new season almost here. Lost, the premier event Wednesday, January 21st, starting at 8, 7 Central on ABC. And, of course, a reminder, next week, championship week. And lots of great games coming your way. And, Herbie, you and I will be in Kansas City for the Big 12 championship, matching Missouri against one of 3 teams.
Let's go back and look at Sam Bradford, Brent, because one thing that got overlooked is not just his speed. Well, how about this? A little bit of a stiff arm for Levine to get him away, and then he starts to outrun him. I think people love to see Sam Bradford, known as a pocket quarterback, a guy that's going to sit usually and hurt you with his arm. Tonight he's shown he's not afraid to not only run the football, but do whatever it takes to try to get the ball into the end zone. He goes airborne, and then, of course, is able to score the touchdown on the next play.
That'll be part of the resume when you and Chris and the gang go in for that Heisman Trophy show. He'll be one of the finalists. I don't think there's any question about that. Colt McCoy, Tim Tebow, Graham Harrell, all those great quarterbacks. And it's been a close race, dogfight among these youngsters for that #1 award. I'm sure they're more interested in winning football games. And there is Bradford looking down at the hand. He's put a couple on the ground here tonight on snaps. Fielded at the 5 by Victor Johnson. Johnson thrown out of bounds, and we'll check in with Matt Weiner in New York for an update. Matt.
All right, Brand, our nominee for the Pontiac game-changing performance comes from Chestnut Hill, where Boston College won the ACC's Atlantic Division today with a little help from a Flutie. Billy Flutie executing the fake field goal, passing it to Jordan McMichael, Doug's nephew, with the 76th Boston College touchdown pass thrown by a Flutie. Vote for your Pontiac game-changing performance starting tomorrow morning on ESPN.com.
Yeah, those Fluties, they throw those TD passes. That's great. 28-21, BC goes to Tampa in the ACC championship. First down and 10. Zach Robinson, and here's Kendall. Out to the 40-yard line, and brought down by Lindy Holmes, number 11.
Kendall Hunter started this game so fast. I mean, made so many plays. And eventually we've seen Zach Robinson help him out. I talked about that in the first half, how Hunter can't do it alone. Robinson has picked up the slack. But again, it's nice to be able to go over the sophomore, Kendall Hunter, 5'8", 190 pounds.
Defense was ready that time. Nothing doing in. Austin Box, the redshirt freshman middle linebacker, stepping in there with Beal. We haven't called Box's name as much as we did last week against Texas Tech.
Des Bryant, who's had a pretty good game up at the top.
First down. Punished at the 48-yard line. Box again.
Good coverage by Oklahoma, but how many times does Oklahoma have to see this? They know it's coming, but if you're going to take away all the receivers, there's room. There's nobody left to take away the mobile, athletic Zach Robinson.
The mobile quarterback. Hey, Herbie. Hard to account for.
Yep.
Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines returns after this message and word from our ABC.
The name says it all. Bedlam, obviously 2 in-state teams that really don't like each other.
Everyone thinks that OSU is the stepchild to, Oklahoma, but, these last couple of years we've been trying to change the program around and try to get noticed and get some recognition. So I think this is a really, a big stepping stone in going towards that direction, like we want to be recognized.
Bedlam indeed. It has been a wild night here in Stillwater, and the Oklahoma fans who traveled in here are enjoying every minute of it. Before the snap.
Dead ball, false start, offense, number 54. It's 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's the left guard, Andrew Lewis.
That's exactly how you don't want to start the fourth quarter, coming out of a TV timeout.
I'll tell you who enjoyed that TV timeout. The Oklahoma defensive linemen. They're getting tired of chasing number 11 around.
They've been on their heels tonight. You're right, chasing Zach Robinson and Kendall Hunter.
Zach's got 108 yards rushing. Great grab. Pettigrew to the 20-yard line. Quiet all night. Used mainly as a blocker. Brandon Pettigrew steps up here.
Well, Grisham's had the huge night of the 2 all-star, all-American type tight ends. How about the throw here by Zach Robinson, putting it up high for the much taller Pettigrew at 6'6" to be able to go up, and you get a feel for the size of his hands and the strength as he secures the football.
Kendall stepping outside, being pulled down by Holmes. That was a 38-yard catch, Pettigrew's first catch of the night here, and it comes early in the fourth quarter. So Kendall Hunter, if he picks up in, we got an injury to Austin Box, who's down. It's like a leg injury on that right leg, and well, he's being tended to. I want to take a look at the ESPNU All-State Standings Review. A couple of points to make here, and here's the big one. Oregon State has lost tonight, so USC has won the Pac-10 championship. So USC would play Penn State in the Rose Bowl, let's say, but that would open up a spot. And folks, do not overlook Boise State. They were scouted last night. They are unbeaten. They are 12-0, and they are ahead of Ohio State in the BCS standings. So wouldn't it be something if two teams from non-BCS conferences made the big show? We'll have to wait and see how this unfolds. Right now, we're going to take a break as the young man is still being tended to down there. And that's Austin Box, and we'll be right back to Stillwater. So here is Austin Box taken off the field. As you pointed out, Herbie, this is a big loss.
It's right here off to the side there. Big loss. Remember, Ryan Reynolds went down earlier this year.
Throwing end zone. Got a man. Touchdown, Des Bryant. Working against Franks in the corner. They will not go away. They will not go quietly into the Stillwater night.
Des Bryant with his second touchdown tonight. They come right after the Sooners coming off of the injury to Box. Isolated there, one-on-one. Actually gets behind Dominique Franks. Ball's thrown high, but Franks didn't have any chance to make a play on the ball. He was out of position. And a nice throw again by Zach Robinson.
Oklahoma State has scored touchdowns on all three possessions this half. Tostin, the running back, as they'll now go for two.
Des Bryant again against double coverage. Up over the top. An 8-point production by number one, who is stepping out in a big game for the first time this year.
Get some of those cheese
Oh, give me two of those.
Huh?
Woo!
Whoa, baby.
That looks good.
It can't be. It's been happening here since 1975. Well, Bedlam. Sheer Bedlam.
What a game.
Fielded back on the 5-yard line by Murray. What a workhorse he's been here tonight. Breaking free. Got a seam. 40. Midfield. Kicker is back. Slows him up. Dan Bailey. The man with the golden shoe. Forced to play a little football.
Well, Dan Bailey throws his nose in there, but great blocking by the Sooners here. Look at the crease and then the speed to the outside. The block to the top of the screen opened it up. And boy, when you see number 7 in the open field for the Sooners, it's very, very tough to bring him down. The Cowboys are lucky that Dan Bailey had the courage to step in there to slow him down.
The fastest of the running backs, and that's why he's back. So Chris Brown will give him a blow now after a 69-yard return by Murray. 3 down linemen. Fill the gaps. Broyles still on his feet. That, folks, is a gang tackle. Might have to stay tuned after the game for your late local news over most of these ABC stations. As soon as we finish, and then over on ESPN, Sports Center, we'll have all the highlights. And talk about that story involving Plaxico Burress and the latest incident. Guess he was already out of the game until he accidentally shot himself, or at least that's the story I heard earlier tonight on ESPN. 2nd down and 9. Play fake. Bradford got time. Goes for the seam. 1st down. Iglesias to the 8-yard line.
Boy, great anticipation by Sam Bradford of recognizing the soft spot in the zone and throwing the ball before his receiver is even into the window. Puts it there. Iglesias runs to the spot, protects himself, and Sam Bradford, before a blink of an eye, the Sooners return a big kickoff, and now they're inside the 10-yard line. Starting to feel like Missouri, Kansas earlier from earlier in the day.
Brown cuts back to the 5-yard line. Lemon was among the defenders, and Sexton there too.
You have a balanced attack, and a defense is trying to take away one thing, which is clearly tonight the Cowboys trying to take away the Sooners' ability to run the football. You got to put the ball into the hands of Sam Bradford in the passing game, and that's what they've been able to do here these last 4 or 5 drives.
Here's Brown, short of the end zone to the 2. There'll be 3rd down and goal coming up. Chatham, the defensive player there.
Cowboys fighting like crazy up front to try to win that battle line of scrimmage. Sam Bradford usually lethal in this situation. Because of his size, Grisham, 18, is usually the man that he looks for.
Brown, and it's 4th and goal. Up 3.
Bob Stoops, usually known as a guy who's confident and he likes to take chances. We've always seen that from him as a head coach. And it looks like this will be no different.
You saw Murray trot back onto the field. Was there a reason, or is he a decoy? He's flaring. Not open. Touchdown. And that is Brody Eldridge, the other tight end. And the first time that Bradford has looked at him all day, he comes uncovered, wide open.
How about the poise of Sam Bradford on the road? Can't hear yourself think. Bedlam, a game that's going back and forth. You're thinking it's either Murray or it's Grisham. And instead, it's off to the right. The backup tight end, Brody Eldridge. The defense does not account for him at all. It's almost like they looked at him as an offensive tackle. They didn't even think about him as a possibility of going out for a pass.
Stevens Tech's on the point. That is 5 straight touchdowns now for Bradford and the Sooners. And in their last 2 possessions, they have scored touchdowns on 4th down. Another Saturday night in the Big 12.
Look at Sam Bradford. The biggest difference from last year to this year. Look at the emotions. Look at the leadership now that you see from Sam Bradford that comes just naturally through experience. He's now providing that for this Sooner offense and for the team.
Moreland kicks it away. From the 10, here's Cox. Middle opens. Cox breaks the tackle. Now in a foot race to the end zone. They will not go away. 90 yards of pure bedlam.
Kickoff return coverage has hurt the Sooners all year. At one of the most important times of the season, Bob Stoops' coverage teams not coming up with an answer.
How many of the voters have now decided that the Longhorns are starting to look better and better.
Well, this game is still in doubt. And you look at what happens here, just when the Sooners want to take back the momentum, a nice crease there originally, but then the effort there. There are 2, maybe 3 Sooners there corralling Cox. They've got him tackled. It's a nice return for maybe 30 yards, but it's not going to go the distance. Good job up front. They create the crease. Look at this, 2 or 3 guys. They're too busy trying to take the ball away instead of securing the tackle. And once Cox kept his balance, Brent, you talk about speed. Wow.
Now it's Murray's turn. And Bullitt exhausted. That's Sherry Treat up in the saddle.
Water, he needs some water.
Speaking of exhausted.
He's done. Get all the way down. What kind of effort was that? 41 points. He's not getting all the way. Get down. Still got a lot of work ahead of him tonight, I think. Still have 10.5 minutes to go.
Cowboys won't back away. And here he comes from inside the end zone. Murray stumbling. And he makes it out to the 36-yard line for the goal line. Wow, Herbie, as we look at the Pacific Life game summary, talk about the 2 quarterbacks here tonight.
Well, it's been a lot of fun to watch these guys, and each have done it in their own way. Sam Bradford, look at the case he's making, by the way, for the Heisman Trophy. 25 at 38, over 300 yards. Great decisions, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and actually 16 yards rushing. But Zach Robinson has been sensational. The bottom number there, 108 yards rushing. His feet have kept the Cowboys offense alive and in this game.
We have not had a punt in this game since the first quarter. Coming in, Gresham again, the tight end. Hard for one man to bring him down. That was Sexton, the linebacker over there.
Mentioned how the Sooners coverage team has hurt him. In fact, last the time we had him in Dallas in the Cotton Bowl, it hurt him against Shipley from Texas. It's the 4th kickoff that they have allowed to go all the way back for a touchdown. Something you would not expect from such an athletic group. Yeah, in the Oklahoma Sooners.
2nd and 8. Lubbock is alive and cheering for the Cowboys. An Oklahoma loss would send Texas Tech to the Big 12 championship game next week. Brown slashing through, short of the first down.
It's one of the first times in a long time we've seen Oklahoma's offensive line have a chance to get to the 2nd level. By that I mean the center and the guards trying to get up to the linebackers to give their backs enough room to run. Sooners only 116 yards tonight running the football, so they've had to do it through the air for most of the night.
Off the silent count. Picks up the first down. Iglesias.
And I know that's only going to go into the stats is just another conversion, another nice pass by Bradford. But because of where we are in this game with 9 minutes to go, and because it's going back and forth, the awareness, the poise, the decision-making, the crowd is trying to take him out of his game. He keeps his cool and continues to make great decisions.
Top. And that's Gresham again.
Well, they go with play action just to freeze the linebackers for a bit. And by doing that, gives him a nice window. See the timing and a rhythm. Comes off the play action. He takes about 2 hitches, distributes the ball right over the top of Lemon, the middle linebacker, into the hands of Gresham, who's having a huge night.
158 yards for Gresham here tonight, and a pair of touchdowns. That flanker screen. Broyles has a first down at the 14-yard line. Price, the defensive back.
Anytime you leave Broyles alone over the slot like this, Sam Bradford's going to call off the play that he originally wanted. Just get it out there right now to Broyles, pick up a block on the outside, and just like that, here's 10 yards and a first down.
Murray is bottled up, thrown for a loss. Of course, at the end of this wild one, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team, and Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund.
Got a few candidates tonight, Brent. It's going to be hard to pick one from each side.
Murray has slipped out there to the left side. End zone, wide open, touchdown. Iglesias. Pick your poison with this bunch. 17 yards.
Miscommunication in the back end from the Oklahoma State defensive backs. Looked like to me Jacob Lacey, the corner, had some confusion with the coverage. He stayed up instead of dropping back and retreating. And who other than Sam Bradford to say, oh, you're going to make a mistake and give me an easy touchdown. Thank you very much.
Six straight Oklahoma touchdowns. Can anyone stop this machine? 92 points scored here tonight. A 10-point lead for the Sooners. 7:17 remaining. And now it's the Cowboys' turn. School record with his 82nd career touchdown pass. On the ground this time. And it'll come out on the 20-yard line. Sooner fans love that.
Here's Iglesias on the touchdown. He's going to get to the outside. Now you see Oklahoma State, they're going to drop. They're going to drop. This man right here, Lacey, should drop, but watch what he does instead. See the confusion? He comes up, bites actually on Broyles, and look at Grisham. Look at Iglesias go right behind him. Easy read, easy touchdown for Oklahoma, and you can see Lacey on the back end of that play after Iglesias pulls away from him. This is a pretty easy touchdown. Easiest pitch and catch that they've had all night. Lacey looking back at his defenders saying, well, a little mixed up there on the coverage. What coverage was that?
Lisa, what's the situation with the young linebacker over there, Box, for the Sooners?
Well, Brent, Austin Box, unfortunately out for the rest of this game. They believe that he has an MCL tear in his left knee, and they're telling him that he could be out up to 6 weeks. Brent?
What a shame. They've already lost Reynolds. He left the Texas game. Remember how the Longhorns went to work on that. And Mike Bulligan, number 10, now comes over, and he will take a crack at it. They've used Nick Harris in one game. They moved him to middle linebacker. And so they've tried a little bit of everything. And Box was coming along.
Sure
he
was
improving, and I believe that's Broadway. He was shaken up on the kickoff.
Brennan, think about this. Curtis Lofton left this defense early to go to the NFL. So they've really had to move Reynolds to the inside. They've had a lot of injuries there that they've had to deal with.
One bit of business for the Trojans before they take on Penn State. And of course, that is UCLA. Zach is sacked. First sack of the night. Keenan Clayton rolls in. The junior from Sulphur Springs, Texas, the converted safety.
That's one way to take away the mobility of Zach Robinson, is just come in on him before he's even able to see you. And Brent, you talked a lot tonight about Keenan Clayton and his speed. He and Travis Lewis both having 4.5 speed from the outside linebacker position. That time catching Robinson off guard.
2nd and 19 for the Cowboys. Underneath, well short, and that was Bulligan. Mike Bulligan, who had moved to middle linebacker, up with a big hit.
Welcome to the game, Mike Bulligan. Couple series under his belt. He settles down. Great look at him reading the defense. He sees that Hunter's leaking out of the backfield as a check down for Zach Robinson. He's there in the open field. Big hit by Bulligan.
3rd and 16. A lot of time. Fires high, incomplete. Almost intercepted. Damian Davis was the intended target on that play.
Robinson had his receiver. Actually breaks free here. Nice job up front. Time to make this throw. Davis has made some good catches tonight. Ball's high. He's got to be able to secure that catch and pick up a first down. If he holds on to that football, it's a first down on 3rd and long.
Oklahoma can tighten the grip here. Broyles standing back on the Sooners' 45-yard line. They figure to have great field position. And over there on the side was Franks. And that'll be a short field for them. And a reminder that the Skins final tomorrow, 3:30 Eastern on ABC. KJ Troy took the money lead today, and Phil Mickelson, Stephen Ames, Rocco Mediate will be competing tomorrow 3:30.
You know, the Sooners have not been able to run the football as much as they would like to. You got to think they've got to mix it up here and try to work the clock as much as they can.
Here is Murray. And he goes out of bounds. Ooh, hit hard over there at the wall. There's not much space between the sideline and that wall. Murray went over to the bleacher seat, and you can see there's just not much room there.
His tight quarters here. It's hit right as he's going out of bounds, and his momentum, boy. He's fortunate to be able to get up from that.
Off on the sideline, and Brown will come in. 2nd down and 1 after the 9-yard burst by Murray. Murray's rushed for 64 yards. Milking the clock here. They get the first down and then some, and Chris Brown, tough to bring down. Let's show you how effective this Sooner offense has been here. The last 6 times they have scored, and more importantly, look at the distances that they have traveled.
Anytime you're able to have 6 straight scoring drives with touchdowns, obviously that is good, but what I've been impressed with is their ability to answer the attacking style from Oklahoma State. I mean, the Sooners came in their last 5 games. They've been running the football 273 yards a game on the ground. Oklahoma State's taken that away, and Bob Stoops, Kevin Wilson, the offensive coordinator, they've had to adjust, and clearly they did. Right before the half, 2 straight touchdowns, and they haven't looked back since.
Brown again. What has Brown done for you lately?
Right now, Oklahoma killing the will of Oklahoma State late in this game. This is where you start to see the running game all of a sudden start to work. They've been leaning on them. They've had the up tempo. Now that they're up by 10, getting close to 4 minutes to go in this game. Oklahoma State running out of gas a bit up front.
Brown stopped at the 10. Chatham. And again, our scenario, Oklahoma wins, we'd have a 3-way tie for first in the South. Texas and Texas Tech, and the highest BCS ranking would advance. At the moment, Texas holds that, but it was a very slight lead over Oklahoma. And remember, it was the computers that had Texas rated quite highly, and we have a a player shaken up, and that's Chatham who's down. .344. Chatham off on his own power, coming to the sideline. Three down linemen.
Of course, Sam Bradford in no hurry here, taking as much time off of the clock as he can.
Levine making the stop. Timeout. Oklahoma State with 2 timeouts. So a reminder again tomorrow night on ABC, Desperate Housewives. And that's at 9/8 Central on ABC. So we have the big show for tomorrow night on the network. And here we've got Oklahoma ahead by 10 points. And the key question as to what's going on right now is whether or not they've got enough style points to overhaul Texas in the BCS rankings. It's simply coming down to that. If they can maintain this lead, obviously anything can happen.
Everybody's going to be watching this game. They watched the Thursday night game. For me personally, what Oklahoma's done is impressive these last couple weeks, but I always go back to the head-to-head. I look at what Texas and Oklahoma did on the same field. We called it in Dallas. Texas beat them, and for me, that's enough. For other people, of course, if you're an Oklahoma fan, what about, hey, Texas Tech beat Texas, and look what we did to Texas Tech. I understand that, but to me, it comes down to Texas and Oklahoma. For me personally, I think I'm in a minority based on the way the polls came out last week.
Third down. Incomplete. Throwing into traffic that time. T.J. Bell was the defensive back there, and Stoops up 10. I believe is going to be confident to go for 13 here. He's going to be comfortable. 9 yards. It was a 4th and 9 coming up. And here's young Jimmy Stevens. He doesn't get to try too many field goals.
Take advantage of him.
27-yarder for him. Whitson is the holder. Whacked it pretty good. So it's a 54-41 lead. And of course, whoever comes out of the Big 12 South, they will play Missouri next Saturday night, the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship in Kansas City. And I'm certainly hoping that the weather might be just a little bit better than what I was watching today with Missouri and Kansas.
Like a little bit of everything today in Kansas City. You know, the wild card in this scenario is if Missouri somehow knocks off whoever ends up showing up in next week's game, whether it's Oklahoma or it's Texas. If they end up pulling off an upset, the team that's left out of getting to Kansas City still could theoretically make it to the national title.
Indeed. Boise State, I can hear that PR machine starting to roll. Everybody remembers what happens the last time they went to a BCS Bowl. I'm sure that the Sooners remember the Statue of Liberty play in one of the most exciting bowl games ever in the Fiesta Bowl. And of course, USC has to take care of UCLA next week. Moreland. Short man retrieves it on the 23-yard line. And down to the 34-yard line with 2:50 and down 13. Herbie, they cannot waste any time now.
No, Zach Robinson's going to have to work some magic here. They need to get down the field in a hurry, make some plays, find some seams in the Oklahoma secondary, which they've been able to do quite a bit in this game. But you got to find Damian Davis, 85, and of course Des Bryant and Brandon Pettigrew. Getting out of bounds, getting first downs, anything they can do to help slow down this clock.
Bryant goes off to the right. Zach throws it. Kendall came out as the safety valve, and Hunter picks up a first down and stops the clock.
Again, in college football, the clock will not stop completely until you get under 2 minutes. Now the game clock will start with the play clock once the referee gets the ball set up. So the clock will start. So Zach Robinson needs to be aware of that because every second at this point matters. It's 12 seconds.
Fumble, loose ball. Oklahoma has recovered. Adrian Taylor and Jeremy Beal.
The Oklahoma defensive line usually takes control of football games. And the last 5 weeks, that's what we have seen. Now tonight, they've been held off to a certain extent because of Zach Robinson's mobility. But this time, Jeremy Beal just has the speed and the power to go right around Brady Bond and catches Zach Robinson off guard, knocks the ball away, and the Sooners get it.
That is Big Taylor down on the bottom with the recovery. 2 takeaways. Lead the NCAA in that category. The Sooners are closing in on a W.
They want another touchdown. You know that, Brent.
Here's Murray. Staying in bounds, keeping the clock moving.
You said it in the open. Style points.
Got a player shaking up down there now, and that's Cox, who returned that kickoff for a touchdown. Well, you know, Herbie, it's been such a busy weekend. We told you about this great game between Kansas and Missouri, and congratulations to the Jayhawks on that gut check up there, and that weather, and Coach Mancino, and Florida crushing Florida State in the rain in Tallahassee. One of those teams on an incredible roll right now, and they'll play Alabama for the SEC title. Bama shutting out Auburn, ending 6 years of Iron Bowl frustration. And of course, Oregon going into Corvallis tonight, and Texas Tech escaping Baylor. Just so many great stories unfolding. 2:03 left here, and then they'll turn it over to coaches who vote in the USA Today coaches poll, and to the Harris poll, whoever that's made up of. And the computers will roll. Then they'll shake it all up, and then they'll pour it out, and they'll tell us who's going to play Missouri next week. Bringing the clock down. Last minute and a half. Murray couldn't quite get the first down. Quentin Moore making the stop.
Tell you what, the Cowboys had 2 weeks to get ready for tonight's game. Played very hard, probably about as well as they can play on the defensive side. It takes a lot to slow down the Sooners. And as well as they've played, they've held Oklahoma to 54 points.
Herbie, I think
it says a lot about Oklahoma.
I think it is very smart at this point for Stoops
shut it down,
to run the clock and shut it down.
Might help.
I'm sitting there thinking about.
Might help him with.
You know, there are some coaches who vote in that poll that say, I don't think we want to do that. If they score a touchdown on the ground, like Brown running here, you know, that's fine because it's up to the Cowboys to stop them. But you know, you don't want to go rubbing somebody's face in it when you're trying to make a statement. I mean, they put 54 points up on that board, on that scoreboard. They lead by 13. They were favored by 7, I believe, something like that. Only it was a short number because Oklahoma State plays very well here in Stillwater. And I think the feeling on the Oklahoma sideline is that if they won the game on the road, that they would get enough juice by playing Oklahoma State in the computers that they would be able to jump up. They'll take their chances with the voters.
Sure.
I mean, the voters had them ahead already.
Yeah, that was the thing. Last week, what they did to Texas Tech at home impressed the coaches, impressed the Harris poll. That's why I felt if they won this game, that regardless of what Texas did, if they just went out and played well and won the football game, that based on the trend that we saw last week, you would think that Oklahoma would emerge and be in the Big 12 championship just based on the fact that they jumped up in both polls last week.
It is clear he shut it down. He didn't throw the ball. And Johnson was over there getting ready to celebrate. And now it's 11-11. And here comes Brown.
It opens middle, touchdown anyway. "28 yards. And that drive without using the pass as a major weapon. They just run it in.
And that's 4 straight games with over 60 points for the Oklahoma football team. I don't care who they play and where they play them. They're going to score points.
Missouri better get ready.
Oh, my God.
If it comes up Oklahoma, they're going to need some. Well, they'll need points no matter who's there. They need them against Texas, too. Tacks on the extra point. We've had over 100 points scored here tonight.
And the big boys up front just wearing down Oklahoma State. I told you, it's a different feel late in the game after a team has played with so much emotion, so inspired. Eventually you hit that wall, and Oklahoma right there to capitalize and take advantage of that. Found the crease, and Chris Brown gets upfield in a hurry. Pretty good feet to go 4 straight.
Bobby Jack right down there with Bob Stoops. Bobby Jack works with the defensive backs. Terrific recruiter. Stoops knows. You always hug the center. When you're a coach, one guy you give a big hug to is your center. John Cooper, you take care of your center.
Yep.
Boomer Sooner. Be a happy trip back to Norman.
What's your hunch? You think Oklahoma goes to Kansas City?
They got the last show.
Yep.
That helps.
Last 2 weeks. I'll be shocked if it's not Oklahoma. But we'll see.
Fielded on the 15 by Bowling. And Bowling is out to the 32. So let us honor our 2 quarterbacks here tonight. Herbie, as the Chevrolet Players of the Game, in a recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. 5 total TDs for Bradford and 1 airborne attempt at a 6th total TD. I mean, the picture that's going to remain out of this game for everybody is Sam Bradford going airborne toward the end zone.
They'll be showing that, as you said, a lot of times when we go to New York City for the Heisman Trophy ceremony.
Oklahoma State, of course, will be going to one of the bowls. The Big 12 will send a lot of teams off for the bowl games. And here, folks, just enjoy this. Talk about effort.
know, if Lemon's not there to push him out of bounds,
he scores.
He went up and over Cox, and he was going into the end zone.
No question.
Or Ricky Price, rather.
Still hustling. Coming across midfield, that was Keith Toston, one of their backup running backs. Shaken up a little bit on the play. So Coach Mike Gundy and Bob Stoops will meet, and it looks like Toston's shaken up. He'll come off to the sideline. And Kendall Hunter will finish it up here. And the curtain comes down. Bedlam game. Sam Bradford. And Oklahoma now tied for first in the Big 12 South, and it is up to the BCS rankings to decide who will play Missouri. We'll find that out tomorrow. Let's go down to Lisa with Coach Stoops.
Thanks, Brent. Coach, 7 of the last 8 drives, touchdowns for you guys. What was really clicking for you?
Sam Bradford, of course. You know, we didn't run the ball maybe overall as well as we'd like, but we did hit it there at the fourth quarter when we needed it. Sam's just incredible. The drive down here where he goes flying in the end zone, just made a play on his own. Great player, and special guy.
The guys were talking about that play. When you saw him go up in the air like that, what were you thinking?
I was thinking, get in. He's a tough guy. He can handle it.
Now here we are, 3-way tie in the Big 12 South. Why does Oklahoma deserve to go to the championship game?
You're not going to drag me into all that. Everyone, there's plenty of.
Gotta drag you in.
Right, there's plenty of reasons for us, as there are other people. So in the end, you know, our arguments just stated here again today. What we've done here down the stretch, and it'll be what it will be.
All right, let me talk to your quarterback. Sam, when you went airborne like that, what was going through your mind? It looked pretty bad.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. Really, I didn't really want to go out of bounds. I felt like, you know, our team kind of needed a little spark at that time, so I was going to do everything I could to try to get in that end zone.
They were not going away. When did you feel that your lead was safe?
Probably with 30 seconds left when Chris Brown scored. So, yeah, I mean, they were a great team. We knew that their offense was going to put points up and that we had to keep answering back every time they scored.
And what happened to your thumb?
I don't know. It's all right.
It's fine?
Yeah, it's fine.
So I got to ask you, too, 3-way tie, the Big 12 South.
I mean, you heard Coach. I mean, you know, everything we did tonight kind of says why we should be there. So, I mean, it's out of our hands now, and we'll see how it ends up.
What do you think it's going to be like waiting to see what happens? Waiting till tomorrow?
Pretty nerve-wracking.
All right, thanks a lot. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Brent?
All right, Lisa. Thank you very much. Once again, our final score, Oklahoma 61, Oklahoma State 41. Next Saturday, we'll be in Kansas City for the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. Saturday Night Football on ABC, 8 p.m. Eastern next Saturday. It'll be Missouri against whoever winds up the highest in the BCS voting. And we'll be there. So for Lisa Salters, Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Brent Musburger saying so long and thanks for watching ESPN on ABC.
One ABC affiliate in the country. Eyewitness News 5 at 10 starts now.
A big win for the Sooners tonight. Good evening. I'm Paul Folger. A close game much of the night. And Sports Extras Mark Rogers and Daniel Holdridge are live in Stillwater with the Bedlam breakdown. Great game, guys.
Oh, it was one of the more exciting games you'll ever see, Daniel. 61-41. Oklahoma gets the win over Oklahoma State tonight, and I wondered if there was ever going to be any defense in the second half.
Everything that happened in this game, it's hard to remember all the touchdowns and all the breaks that Oklahoma got. They got a couple of scores, you know, there were some good breaks in there. The tip pass that Gresham caught, Sam Bradford drops that hike at the 1-yard line, picks it up and goes in. Sooners got some breaks, but they took away this game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and for the fourth straight week over 60 points, we want to tell you that Bob Stoops will be live coming up a little bit later on in the show, so you want to stay tuned for that. The Cowboys, as Pat Jones would say earlier in the week in the radio show, they look good coming through smoke. Sooners, not as much smoke here in Stillwater, but their offense was great. And here comes the Sooners defense, opening series for Oklahoma State. Dominic Franks, who's been so good back there making plays, makes a big one.
OU has been so good in the first quarter in all these football games, and again tonight they get the interception, and then they hand it off to DeMarco Murray. He gets to the corner, hurdles a defender, cuts it upfield, goes in for the touchdown. Sooners take a 7-0 lead. Looks like they're on a roll. That's what they do in the first quarter.
And Murray had 15 carries for 73 yards. You would think that his numbers were a little bit better because Oklahoma ran the ball pretty effective. They did really whatever they wanted on offense. Des Bryant, he's pretty good. Zach Robinson, 16 of 24. Bryant caught 6 of those for 92 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Oklahoma State gets on the board with a field goal on that drive.
Yeah, you're right. And then they come right back. Bradford, little slip screen to Quentin Chaney, cuts it upfield. That sets up a Chris Brown touchdown. Oklahoma really tried to run the ball. You know, they came in that first series and they throw it. It didn't work out, and then they went to what really works, and that's running the ball right up the gut. And the offensive line wore down Oklahoma State as we got into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, big key in the game. You're right. 3 passes on the first series. Right. Second series, Oklahoma ran the football, and they had a lot more success. Zach Robinson was pressured all night. Adrian Taylor played a great football game for the Sooners, but this is a great effort play for Robinson to get to the first down there.
Yeah, that was an amazing play for Zach to get out of that. And then they can't, look at this little, Zach improvising. This is not a called play. Kendall Hunter, though, gets to the end zone and scores there. But Bradford, I mean, the guy threw for 370 yards, 4 touchdowns. Give Sam Bradford the Heisman right now.
Yeah, I think he's got a great chance at winning it tonight. 61 points. There's a great tip catch by Jermaine Gresham, who had another great tip catch in the second half, and Gresham was a man. Oklahoma State had no answer for him tonight. 9 catches, 158 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
I thought this was a big score right before halftime to go up 21-13, and they took off. I mean, I just was really impressed with Sam Bradford. Oklahoma State kept coming back. The kick return, again for the Sooners. They give one up, but Sam Bradford would not let that team loose.
Great offensive execution in a very hostile environment tonight. This Oklahoma offense looks like it's unstoppable right now, and we will see what the polls say tomorrow. More on the polls, Bob Stoops live, and much more from Stillwater coming up a little bit later on in Sports Extra. What a game.
We got the Sooners celebrating back here.
All right, guys, we'll see you in just a little bit. While the fans are celebrating here in the Metro as well, as soon as the game ended, workers at USA Screen Printing fired up their machines. They're making the Bedlam Championship shirt. And Eyewitness News 5's Linda Mattes is there live. And Linda, they had to wait to the end to print these up.
That's right, Paul. The celebration has begun, and so has the printing. But, you know, this game was so close, they had to wait till almost the end to decide what shirt to print out. But, look, OU fans already knew in their head who was going to win, and here they are ready to get their shirt. You were the first one here. Why was it? Did you just need the shirt that bad?
Well, it's a tradition every year. I come up here and get one after we win, so...
All right, well, they're going to have a shirt ready for him in a little while, and they're going to print about 350, hopefully to get them through enough OU fans for tonight as well as tomorrow. And then they say they'll print more as needed. Now, if OU goes to the Big 12, they already have a design made up for that as well. Reporting live, I'm Linda Mattes, Eyewitness News 5.
All right, Linda. Well, you know, a lot of fans actually missed out on the game tonight. They weren't able to get tickets. Eyewitness News 5's Jordan Williams is live in Stillwater there, where they have some ticket frustration tonight.
And, Paul, the folks behind me, these are the lucky guys who got to see the game, and what a game to watch tonight. But, you know, we went walking while the game was still going on, and we didn't have to go very far to find people who couldn't get into the stadium.
We are here to support our team, even though we don't have tickets, and all of our OSU fans do.
Allison Behrens and her family and friends tailgated in the shadow of the stadium lights. Did you think about getting tickets?
No.
Why?
Because they're asking way too much for them. I think it's not quite fair that the OSU wants to not sell their tickets fairly to the OU fans.
Just up the street, we found an OSU fan who also couldn't find her way into Boone Pickens Stadium.
We could not get seats.
Oh, we had tickets.
$400 a seat.
They are about $300.
Rather than pay the price, these fans decided to tough it out, tailgating.
No, we could have got tickets, but we chose to stay out here because we think it's more fun of an atmosphere with all our friends.
These determined Cowboys and Sooners aren't willing to let high prices ruin this Bedlam battle.
Well, I mean, I was looking for tickets, but if you can't find them for a good price, you just got to support your team in any way you can.
Man, I ain't got no money. I'm just down here just to see who's going to win.
We are tailgating, and we're having an awesome time in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
And you're looking live, the Sooners celebrating tonight in Stillwater. We're live outside Boone Pickens Stadium. I'm Jordan Williams.
Sports Extra.
All right, as promised, Bob Stoops now live here in Stillwater.
Here and win, and because they're a good football team, so I'm want to recognize that first. I thought our guys incredibly proud of the way we played. Another game, 60 points. I think that's 4 in a row for us. Just Sam Bradford again. It's just out of this world. It's just incredible the way he played, and you look at our third down conversions, fourth down conversions, no turnovers. Just all in all, incredible. I thought Kevin Wilson and our offensive staff, again, just an exceptional job prepared, moving the ball. I thought defensively, give Zach Robinson some credit. He played an excellent game. Just frustrated us so many times. You thought you had him sacked, and he'd break through or throw the ball off his, getting sacked, throw the ball and make a play or run for a first down. That kind of really, threw us off some, or he made some plays on us, but we hung in there, made the stops in the fourth quarter that we needed to. I thought our kicking game really was solid all night, but the one, they get the kickoff return for the touchdown, and we have guys there to make the tackle or trying to pull the football out. So just some of the decisions we make are disappointing, but again, give Parrish Cox credit. He's a strong, tough guy that ran through it, but I thought the rest of it was really solid. So, again, you come in here, number 12 team in the country, win by 20 points. You're doing a lot of things right. So.
Bob, do you feel like you have a great chance to be playing in Kansas City next weekend?
I do. I think we have a really good chance. You look at what we've done the last 2 weeks. I mean, we played the number 2 team in the country and won by 44. And we just played the number 12 team in the country in their own place where no one else has beat them and won by 20. So usually it's what you're doing at the end of the year. And we have, finished the year really pretty strong.
What's Austin Mox's status?
Uncertain right now. He may have sprained his knee, so we're not, until we get in tomorrow and get it looked at further, we'll see.
Bob, you talk about defining plays and the flip that Sam had trying to get the ball into the end zone.
I thought that was probably the play of the game, getting away from the rush. And then getting it all the way down to the 1 yard line, almost got it in and really sacrificed himself going up for it. Made a great play. The guy's a great player. And he's doing it. He has a banged up thumb. He had his thumb wrapped up. That's why we dropped some of the snaps from under center. And that's why we went shotgun the whole second half, even in some of our run formations. And he sucked it up and made that was a huge play. I agree. I thought that was the play of the game.
Was that one of those situations where when you saw the effort out of that, there was no way you weren't going to go for it on fourth down?
We're down there 4th and 1. We're going for it. That's I just felt with our offensive line and backs and everyone we have that we're gonna go for it.
Bob, you talk about the red zone proficiency that this team has had all year long, including tonight. 61 touchdowns and 71 red zone appearances.
Yeah, and I don't know how many points the last 4 games, but again, credit the offensive staff. Kevin Wilson and that group have done a great job of really being prepared, as you said, in the red zone, of getting the ball in the end zone, not settling for field goals. But credit the kids too. The physical play, being able to run the football, I think, is a big plus. And then you got guys, Sam just makes such great throws and great decisions. There's a lot of people there to defend, and we do a good job spreading them out.
Bob, you had a little sooner man tonight with the tip pass to Jermaine, the way the fumble bounced to Sam where he could walk in.
Well, again, those are you always feel fortunate when you get plays like that, no question, and I feel fortunate tonight.
Talk about your offense. They answer the call every time you get up by 10. They get within 3. You come back and score.
I was probably most pleased with our poise and our at the end of the first half in our 2-minute drive. Just to be able to put it in the end zone and to finish the half that way. I thought showed a lot of character, overall for the team, and because things hadn't gone so smoothly in the first half, but they put it behind them and executed that drive to put it in the end zone. So they did show a lot of character. I was kind of happy through the year in the last, 3-4 games. We've been up 45, 50-some points and haven't had to respond to some adversity. And we did, and we did it in a, in a way that we had to in the fourth quarter.
Bob, how much work are you guys going to do before 2:30 tomorrow afternoon?
We'll meet as a staff and come in, watch this game, get this behind us, get it all graded out, and then we'll start, after that, getting prepared.
Talk about Dom's interception there in the first and how kind of sparked that first get that.
Yeah, he just read it out. I saw him from across the field even before the ball was thrown, that he was already jumping the route, and I started to look to see what kind of pressure we were getting, and then looked back, and he had the ball. But, Dom's had a couple of touchdowns the last couple of games and almost scored on that one. He's had a great year.
Bob, do you get the feeling in the locker room that your team is ready for another game?
Absolutely. Sure they are. They're anxious for it, and we're all, hopeful that's what will happen. And so we just have to wait and see.
Okay, let's stop it there for Bob. Let him get on. Put Sam up here. We're going to do about 5 questions with Sam.
All yours, big boy. All right.
All right, we would love to listen to Sam Bradford, but we'll save some of that for tomorrow night and Sports Extra. And Daniel, I think the things that are important to look at right now, Sam Bradford for the Heisman Trophy, 46 touchdown passes. Right. He broke Jason White's record of 40 last week. He's up there in the rarefied air of touchdown passes in a single season.
Yeah, the Downtown Athletic Club should say Sam Bradford, University of Oklahoma, 2008 Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, there's nobody else in the country that compares in my mind. I thought Colt McCoy about 3 weeks ago was the leader. I think Sam Bradford is far and away the leader. He's the winner. It's over, in my opinion.
One more thing before we get to the highlights, the polls. The BCS will be released tomorrow afternoon around 3:30, but you'll get a great indication as to whether or not Oklahoma will play for the Big 12 championship tomorrow before noon. That's when the coaches poll is released. Also the Harris poll released around noon tomorrow. If Oklahoma is ahead in those polls, you can book your tickets to Kansas City because they are going. Oklahoma is going to pass Texas in the computers by virtue of this win here tonight. But we'll see what happens in the human polls. That's the big key. If Oklahoma stays ahead of Texas, then they'll play Missouri for the Big 12 championship. We have Sam Bradford. Let's go to the locker room.
It's a big part of our game plan, converting on third down when we need to. It kept our drives alive, and, it allowed us to put points on the board in the first half when we were kind of struggling at times.
You don't want to say anything negative about your defense, but everybody else felt that you guys had to score every time you got the ball. Was that the mindset?
Yeah, but that's our mindset every game. I mean, we're really not worried about what our defense is doing. We want to score every time we touch it. So, regardless of what the other offense is doing, that's our goal every game.
What do you say about your tip balls and the receivers coming through for you?
Yeah, I think you got to have a little luck on your side every now and then, and that play to Jermaine, I think he did a great job keeping his head in the play, staying alive, and being aware that the ball got tipped, and he made a great play.
It's like it was just play after play, and then you took a big hit also when you found Brody Eldridge in the end zone as well.
Yeah.
Talk about that play.
Yeah, actually, I was playing to the front side, and they covered it pretty well, and I was scanning backside, and Brody just came open. I found him just before they got to me.
Okay, that good. The coordinators are out here.
All right, that's Sam Bradford. The flip play was unbelievable. But I think that showcases Sam Bradford's athletic ability. I mean, we know around here he was a great golfer and a great basketball player at Putnam City North High School, and that showcased that tremendous athletic talent.
That's the play that people are going to remember. I mean, that's going to be the Sam Bradford moment when they roll reels of the Heisman Trophy winner from past years. They're going to show that play. I mean, he didn't score, but it just showed his heart. It just showed how much he wanted to win the game, and he inspired his team, and he inspired Bob Stoops. Bob called it the biggest play of the game.
Are you cold yet?
A little bit.
Let's look at the highlights. Why don't we do that? It was a packed house tonight. The seats that were supposedly not sold, I don't think they were sold, but they were sprinkled in the club area where you really couldn't see them. I think that it looked good on national television. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State coming out. It certainly was loud inside there. Zach Robinson makes the first mistake of the game, Daniel, and we said that he had to outplay Sam Bradford tonight. I did to get the win. Played good, Zach Robinson did, but not good enough.
He really struggled in the beginning of the game. He didn't look like the same Zach Robinson we had seen, and he threw that interception to Dominique Franks, and then they turn around on offense and give it to DeMarco Murray, and he is the running back we saw last year before that injury. He is officially back.
Murray's back on a big kickoff return tonight. 15 carries, 73 net yards, and 1 touchdown average, 4.9 yards per rush. Des Bryant, he's pretty good as well.
And he's really good at home. I think we found that out, and he played his biggest game against a big team tonight. that catch right there led to a field goal, so it's 7-3, but back to Bradford. This play works, it seems like, every time they run it. A little screen inside to Quentin Chaney. That sets up another rushing touchdown. This one for Chris Brown. Brown had 98 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns on 19 attempts. Very impressed with him tonight.
Well, and you look at Brown and Murray, you average it out. Oklahoma ran the football for 187 yards. Ironically, Oklahoma State ran it for more, but Oklahoma seemed to have the run when it needed it. Watch this play. Scramble from Zach Robinson, eluding Adrian Taylor, who played a great game, and somehow he weaves his way into Oklahoma territory for a first down.
We talked about Bradford and the flip. Zach Robinson, you could tell, really, really wanted this game, making plays like that, and then improvises here, finds Kendall Hunter, uncovered, goes into the end zone. Big play for the Cowboys to get back into the game, but Jermaine Gresham really impressed me tonight. I mean, he played an outstanding game, and he proved maybe he is the best tight end in the state of Oklahoma and in the country. 2
of the 3 tight ends nominated for the Mackey Award are from Oklahoma. Of course, Brandon Pettigrew as well. Pettigrew didn't play a bad football game tonight, but he was certainly outdone by Jermaine Gresham. That's just not fair to put a defensive back on Gresham that's half his size.
That's right. Gresham, 9 catches, 158 yards, and 2 touchdowns. It's 21-13 Oklahoma at halftime and move on to the second half.
Zach Robinson looking for Dez Bryant. Sweet catch off the turf. That was really a difficult grab, 21-19. Cowboys can tie, Daniel, but that's not how it works out.
This is amazing. Frank Alexander played an awesome game, and then he does this on top of it. Look at the convoy he's got behind him. It looks like the Mighty Ducks, the Flying V, running down the field.
Frank Alexander for tailback. This guy is unbelievable, and nobody drew on him. It was an impressive run that gave Oklahoma back the momentum, 23-19. Here is Bradford in one of the plays of the game. Jermaine Gresham behind the secondary, just kind of spectating at that point, but he catches the football and he goes to the house. Sooners get out in front of the Cowboys again.
30-19 there. I think it's obvious Oklahoma was the better team tonight, but they did get some breaks like that touchdown. And then the kickoff team, Mark. I mean, I don't know what to say. They're trying to strip the ball, tackle somebody.
I know Oklahoma's kicking off a lot, but I'd fire these 11 guys on Monday, first thing. I don't care who they are.
Find
I get 11 new
more?
ones. Yeah, I get 11. It's almost to the point where you call the student body and say, let's find somebody out there that wants to make a play. That's embarrassing for OU football. I'm telling you, the kickoff team's got to be better. I'd call all those guys out.
That's not the best defensive back right there with the Iglesias wide open in the end zone. That pretty much capped it off. Sooners win 61-41. I was really shocked how many points were scored tonight. 102 points. And what was it, 7-3 after the first quarter? It was insane.
In the second half, the offenses were just incredible. Oklahoma State was good. Austin Box went off the field with what looked like a knee injury, a pretty serious knee injury, but Mike Balogun came onto the field. Junior college yesterday. Right. He'd never seen the field before. I think sometimes Oklahoma's defense is pretty complicated, and the coaches are afraid to put guys out there that might be in the wrong position. But Mike, it's still. You go tackle the guy with the ball.
Exactly.
He made a couple of plays in this game tonight, so he's going to be a key figure to watch for a little bit later.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter, after OU had scored to go up 10 again, and they get the ball, and they had a sack. Keenan Clayton had a sack, and then Balogun made a good play.
Key possession. You called
that was huge.
Down on the sidelines.
That was a huge sideline.
All right, again, to recap the important things, I'm going to let you break some very shocking news at the end of this involving the NBA.
I'm ready.
But the polls will come out tomorrow around noon. The BCS comes out tomorrow around 3:30. Again, watch for the human polls, the Harris poll and the coaches poll. If Oklahoma's ahead of Texas in those 2 polls, they will go to the Big 12 championship game because this win tonight will do enough in the computers to put Oklahoma past Texas in that segment of the voting.
That's right. Can I break the news to all the people out there that are watching Bedlam all night?
It's my pleasure to hand it to you. People are not going to believe
it. The Thunder won, people. They won a basketball game.
111-103 the fun. All right, we need to take a break. I don't know what we'll do after this, but maybe